Welcome to enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Phillips. Sense and simplicity. Texas has now won 20 straight conference games, 25 at home. They pull it all on the line tonight versus a very good Oklahoma State Cowboy team. Hello again, everybody. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. And comeback is the word you have to use to describe the series between these two teams, as Texas has trailed in the last 6, and they've come back to win them all. Now, their current quarterback, Colt McCoy, he knows something about deficits. He's faced them the last 4 games. He's led them to wins, and he's done it with a lot of class. That he has, and we always emphasize his mind and the mental part of the game. But let's not overlook the physical side of the game with Colt McCoy, because this young redshirt freshman has played awfully well. He can roll to his left, get his shoulders square, and throw a strike for a touchdown. Then rolling to his right, presumably an easier throw, no less impressive, hits his target for a touchdown. And then in the pocket, steps up the big strike to Lima Swede, his favorite target. He can do it all variety of ways. He's the babyface assassin, and he knows the past history. Down 21, down 16 the last 2 years at the half to Oklahoma State. He wants Texas off to a fast start tonight. And he has to, because this is a completely different Oklahoma State team that we saw last year, especially on offense. And the 2 key guys tonight didn't even play in the game last season, and they're going to have an impact this evening. It's almost like they got transfers, and one of them is, we're talking about Bobby Reed, the quarterback, who's back from injury, did not play last year. He leads the Big 12 in passing efficiency and also has great legs that gets him out of the pocket and downfield. Darius Bowman is a transfer from the University of North Carolina. Against Kansas, 13 catches, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. A friend described it as a video game day. What a huge day for him. But they need those 2 guys to play well as their running game. They average 211 yards per game running the football. Texas only gives up 41 yards per game running the football. I think Oklahoma State has to approach 150 yards tonight using Dantrell Savage, their tailback, as their lead guy. Well, there's a lot on the line tonight, because Oklahoma State still wants to go to a bowl, and Texas is looking at the Big 12 South title. We'll step aside, and when we return to Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium, Oklahoma State and Texas. The Texas Longhorns taking the field at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. Another capacity crowd expected to be on hand as the 4th-ranked Texas Longhorns, 8-1, riding a 7-game win streak, set to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And as we talked about comebacks in the past, one of the things that people talk about is Oklahoma State ran out of gas. The players of the Cowboys say not this year. Craig Sager's got more. Corey Hilliard telling us they are ready because of just what you talked about. And there's the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He was a 4-year starter for the Cowboys. A quarterback, Mike Gundy, played with the great Barry Sanders. Obviously, you can see his record, 9-10. He has done a great job of turning this program into what stumbled last year, but he said, listen, it's big picture, and now he's reaping the benefits from that. And of course, the head coach of the Texas Longhorns, Mack Brown, he said it took him about 5 years to get comfortable being head coach at for the Texas Longhorns. You see what he has done. His record is unbelievable. He said after the OU game in 2005, he wasn't enjoying their success, re-looked at all his priorities, and he's taken a different attitude, Charles, since that time. You know, when you look at that record of 91-20, one thing to keep in mind, that's the best record in the country since he took over at the University of Texas. You can see the weather might have a couple of sprinkles tonight, but it's a pretty good football weather. A little humid, but not bad. Texas won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. They want to take on the defense first. Paris Cox, Grant Jones back. Hunter Lawrence, the true freshman out of Boerne, Texas, outside of San Antonio, is going to kick it away. Paris Cox, very dangerous. Grant Jones, the senior out of Pawnee, Oklahoma, number 30. Cox is number 16. First time he touched the ball this year. It was a kickoff return of 96 yards. Lawrence's kick. It is a short one. Jones from about the 13 gets to the outside. Still on his feet as he crosses the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 31-yard line for Grant Jones. And this Oklahoma State offense, they've adapted the offense for the personnel, and that personnel is Bobby Reed, third in the NCAA in pass efficiency, but he also beats people with his legs, Charles. He has really learned how to run the football even better.
And that's something that Mike Gundy, his head coach, has emphasized, using his legs. Last week against Nebraska, he used it to great advantage. A 56-yard run helped bring Oklahoma State back into the game.
1st and 10 on the 31, the Cowboys' first possession. Savage in the backfield for the Cowboys. Little play action. We'll see a lot of it tonight, and we have a whistle. Penalty flag before the play.
Oklahoma State was trying to strike deep on the first play off of play action. Turns out there is no play at all.
12 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Darius Bowman. They have a league-low penalty, only 1 penalty on the offensive line, by the way, in the last couple of games. They only average about 4 penalties a game. They're a very clean football team offensively.
You know what's even more unfortunate about this play? A Darius Bowman flinch, which oftentimes leads you to believe that he's the guy getting the ball. I think they were trying to go to DeJuan Woods on the short side.
I think you're right. Little bunch set on the right side. Savage alone in the backfield. And he'll try that right side. Shows a little speed, gets up to about the 27-yard line. Michael Griffin, 16 tackles last week. His first tackle tonight. The Oklahoma State offensive line, only 12 sacks given up. Corey Hilliard at left tackle was second team All Big 12 last season. And of the skill positions, we'll probably be calling his name a lot tonight. Darius Bowman, third in the NCAA in receiving. 13 catches, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns versus Kansas a few weeks ago. Mark Mangino said he's got my Heisman vote.
Don't be surprised they use a lot of screens and draws early to try and slow down the Texas pass rush.
Now they threw it over Bowman's head, incomplete. As we take a look at the Texas defense, number 2 in the nation against the run. Frank Okam starts at defensive tackle. He was a preseason All-American. Linebacker Robert Killebrew's back after not playing last week because of injury. Rashad Bobineau really anchors that middle. And the secondary's really dinged up, but the Griffin twins combined for 30 tackles versus Texas Tech last week. Michael, as we mentioned, had 16 of those.
Ron looked for Texas to try and rush their 4-down linemen and play coverage on this down. They've challenged the down linemen to get at the quarterback this week. They didn't do that very well last week against Texas Tech.
Tostin and Savage in the backfield, 3rd and 14. Straight drop, looking deep down the right side. The only one there is a burnt orange jersey. Incomplete. Texas holds. Ross on the coverage. It was intended for DeJuan Woods. Good defensive series for the Longhorns.
Similar to a baseball team that talks about never walking leadoff runner. That's how you get hurt. A penalty on the first play set Oklahoma State behind the chains and hurt their ability to move the ball on their first series.
Matt Fudge set to kick it away. The number 1 punter in the Big 12 Conference, Aaron Ross, back at his 30-yard line. Ross averaging 13 yards a return. Texas, one of the nation's best on punt returns, first in the Big 12, 6th overall in the country. Ross signals the fair catch. At the 28-yard line, that's where Texas will begin their first possession. The Texas offense, Colt McCoy, the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. 4 touchdowns versus Texas Tech. Last 3 games, 12 touchdowns. All the coaches at Texas say we were concerned how he handled the journey. I think he's getting an A+ in that game.
He's handled this journey way better than Dorothy handled following the yellow ball. I mean, the way he has handled all of this, especially now with all the hype that's coming from him playing so well as the quarterback at the University of Texas. People are using the H word when they talk about Colt McCoy. And I don't think anyone expected that in the preseason.
He kind of laughed at that. He said, no, guys, there's a lot of people on this offense. Selvin Young up over the 30 to the 32-yard line. The Texas offensive line led by Justin Blaylock started the first 5 games at right tackle. He's moved over to guard now. He has not given up a sack in 24 straight games. Skill positions, we'll see a lot of them tonight. Quan Cosby, he's caught a pass in 14 straight dating back to 2005. We saw Quan last week have an outstanding game for the Longhorns.
I'm anxious to see how Texas decides to run the ball tonight. We saw a lot more I formation against Texas Tech.
2nd and 6, Oklahoma State gets him on the blitz. And speaking of that Oklahoma State defense, they've They've really beefed up that defensive line. Victor DeGreat leads the defensive line in total tackles, sacks, and tackles for a loss. Linebackers are a little bit young, but Roderick Johnson has become their leader. And in the secondary, again young, but very talented. Redshirt freshman Andre Sexton leads the team in total tackles. Coaches tell us he is going to be a, quote, stud.
And he was on the last play on the safety blitz, bringing down the running back, making it 3rd and long. They've gone to a nickel package.
3rd and 9 for the Longhorns. And we've got a whistle and a penalty flag in the backfield.
It's usually delayed game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, whenever the back judge gets involved before the ball snapped, he's the guy who watches the clock, the play clock, and it ran out. Texas penalized their first one of the night, similar to Oklahoma State early in their drive.
And here's where Colt McCoy shines. When something bad happens, we saw an interception last week, for instance, he comes back to the huddle and says, okay, no big deal. Let's just get after him.
Done that quite well all year, hasn't he?
All year. 3rd down and 14 now for the Horns. Oklahoma State, 4-down linemen. Linebackers are creeping up. They bring forward. McCoy steps up. They got him in one hand, and he is going to go down. Fumbles the football. Nope, the officials say, the umpire saying he was down at the 19-yard line. Victor DeGreat is the one who put the pressure on him.
I think he had some help there, too. Looked like Nathan Peterson, number 13, last week's Big 12 Player of the Week. You can see him right there, 13, flushing McCoy. Then DeGreat over the top. The ball comes free. Texas fortunate there because they called the ball down as he was going to the turf. Allows him to punt the ball away.
Well, Greg Johnson is in the punt. He's been nursing a strained groin. We've had that happen about the Baylor game, and he really suffered in that. Parrish Cox back at the 40. The rush comes, and the left footer gets a nice high kick. Cox calls a fair catch all the way back at the 31-yard line, but we have a penalty back at the 10. 48 yards on the kick by Greg Johnson.
Running into the kicker. On the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Oklahoma State fortunate here, the running into the kicker penalty. It goes against number 6. That's Ricky Price, a wide receiver on the punt coverage team. But because it's running into the kicker, it's 5 yards, 4th down again. If it had been a roughing the kicker, 15 yards,
Running the kicker.
1st down.
On the receiving team, penalties decline. 1st down.
So Oklahoma State will take over 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line, and because of our enhanced coverage, we are keeping it right here. We can't tell you enough how Mike Gundy has changed this program from last year. When he first took over, he got rid of a couple players that had no business being on the team. He said, listen, we're going to do it the correct way. We're looking.
Checks built into them. Bobby Reed looks over to the sidelines and gets the check. After he gets them to the line of scrimmage, then he calls the play, and off they go. As you said, that's coming from the press box where Larry Fedora, the offensive coordinator, sits. He watches the defense, makes changes the play as necessary. Here it is right there. They look over, wide receivers and quarterback, then they put it into motion.
He looks over again.
So you see all the skilled guys are going to look over. They're the signalers. One of those guys is live. Everyone else, they're the dummy signal guys.
Plenty of time to snap. It's at 4. Reed keeps it. Looks for a block, gets part of a block, gets up to the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 8 on the play. Let's take a look at our Orbit's fast and easy keys to the game. First of all, the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
But first of all, I trust you on defense. They have to trust each other to play their own assignments, stay in the right gaps, and not give up big plays. Legs and the man. Their running game, 211 yards per game. The man, Bobby Reed, he needs to use his legs also. And red line for 60. They've done it to 30 minutes in the last 2 games against Texas. They need to do a full 60 tonight in order to pull off this win.
And we have another dead ball foul. 2nd already here in the opening quarter.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Tom Walker is our referee tonight.
And both of these penalties early, partner, wide receivers.
Yeah.
Guys have to look in and see the ball snapped, a little bit antsy, either get down and block or get out into their routes. I think there's a little bit of extra motion in this game for Oklahoma State. If they win tonight, they become bowl eligible.
4 out of the last 5 years they've been to a bowl, so they want to get back to one. 2nd down and 7. Reed, little shovel pass. That'll be an incomplete pass. Intended for Savage. That thing was just detonated, I think, by Tim Crowder from the get-go.
Yeah, the running back who's supposed to come inside and catch the pass never got into the route. Bobby Reed fortunate that when he threw the ball forward on the shovel, that it fell to the ground harmlessly and became an incomplete pass. See, Tim Crowder looked like he was the running back. Running back never shows up into the picture.
Well, instead of a third down, it should have been 2. The penalty pushed it back 5. Now they're facing 3rd and 7. And Texas puts a lot of burnt orange on the line. And I think they may have run out of time. The clock says 0, and they're going to go back 5 more. Or did they get the timeout out in time? The play clock was down to 0.
Timeout.
He got it off.
Before the delay of game penalty.
Well, that's their first timeout. 10:02 to play in the opening quarter. Scoreless. Oklahoma State continues. 7 for the Cowboys. Mike Hamilton now in at running back. Reed likes to roll out. Sees a big opening. Over the 40s. Got the first down to the 43, 44-yard line. We talked about how he can beat you with the arm, but he also has decided, and the coaches stressed it in spring, beat people with your legs.
And not only that, once he gets into open field, watch Bobby Reed, number 14. He ends up winning a one-on-one battle in the open field right there against Drew Kelson. The converted safety is now a linebacker. Kelson had a chance to tackle him before the first down marker. He made a miss.
Nothing doing there for Savage. That'll be a loss of about a yard on the play. Rashad Bobineau on the stop. This is an Oklahoma State team, and you and I have talked in the past about Texas. They have a way of discouraging you to run the football. Talking to Mike Gundy last night, Larry Fedora said, no, we're not. We expect big plays from our run game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There's Larry Fedora. He's the guy all the way on the end. I believe that would be him right there, who's the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma State. And they will continue to try and run the football against this tough Texas defense.
On 2nd and 12. Nothing doing. The Texas defense closes. Once again, number 2 in the country against the rush. They only allow 39.9 a game. Texas Tech last week, negative yards. Robinson on the tackle, his 2nd of the ball game.
And what may be the difference is that Texas Tech is not built to run the football. You know, last week, that is not part of their makeup. But Oklahoma State, as you mentioned, that is what they want to do, to the tune of 211 yards per ball game. They will not be discouraged early.
3rd down and 10. The Pokes 1 for 2 so far tonight. Hamilton joins Reed in the backfield. Reed looking, rifling the pass right at the first down marker. It is incomplete. Pass was intended for Ricky Price, the sophomore out of Cypress Falls High School in Houston, Texas, and Tim Crowder was right there to put the pressure on Bobby Reed.
Texas did not get the pressure they wanted last week at Texas Tech with their down 4. They're getting it early tonight. That allowed for the incompletion because the pressure from Crowder forced Bobby Reed's inaccuracy on that throw.
Rogers' first punt wins 45 yards. He's had 3 punts plus 70 yards already this year.
First in the Big 12 in punting.
Penalty flag again.
Another jump, legal procedure probably.
False start. 32. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I think Texas's movement on the defensive side forced the jump there by Julius Crossland, backup running back.
3rd penalty already for Oklahoma State. Pushes him back again, 4th down. And a bundle, 15. Ross standing back at his own 20-yard line. Line drive, wobbly kick.
Good return ball, though.
At the 15. The spin move up to the 30-yard line, 45 yards on the kick, 14 on the return. We'll step aside for a message from our Mark. And of course, Mark will keep us posted on all scores and highlights from around the country today. We have had some upsets. Along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, I'm Ron Poulin. Glad to have you with us tonight. Texas and Oklahoma State, a bunch of orange in the stands tonight. Colt McCoy The starting quarterback, the redshirt freshman, and fans get into it here. The Oklahoma State defense. Last year, you look at it, you look at the numbers, you say, my goodness, they didn't stop anybody. But mainly it was big plays. But Vance Bedford says, listen, we just want to kind of contain the other offense because we believe our offense will score.
It's not something you hear often from a defensive coordinator, is it? And we'll discuss more of that after this play.
Sylvan Young in the backfield. Little quick drop out into the flat block at the 33-yard line, 34-yard line. Billy Pittman, the junior from Cameron, Texas, his 19th reception of the year. Pick up a 4 on the play.
Yeah, Vance Bedford's feeling is that Oklahoma State's offense is playing so well, averaging nearly 40 points per ball game. Said he tells his defense, just get a few stops along the way. We're not trying to actually go out and just mash people and shut them down totally, although that would be nice. But we have so much confidence in our offense that our job is just to slow down the other team a little bit.
Sylvan Young leaning forward up to about the 39-yard line, be about a yard short of the first down. Patrick Levine on the stop.
Never stopped churning, did he?
No, he didn't. Let's take a look at the Orbit's keys to the game. Fast and easy keys to the game, the Texas Longhorns, Charles.
So they're going on Longhorn up. 41 yards per game given up on defense running the football. They know Oklahoma State's going to try and run it. They want to stop that. Haven't got time to bleed on defense. They have a lot of injuries. They don't have time to talk about it. Those guys have to play well. And if we're even, they believe that they're leaving. In other words, don't get overwhelmed early, as Oklahoma State has done to them the last 3 years in the first half.
Colt McCoy just leans over the 40-yard line. That'll be good for the first down.
You know, I'm sorry, Ron, just to put a capper on Vance Bedford, because many people will misinterpret what we're saying and say, oh, well, he's giving up on the defense, blah, blah, blah. And that's not it at all. What he's saying is relax. If we play well, we'll be just fine. But our offense is so good that we don't need to pitch shutouts, guys. We'll outscore people if we play up to our potential. And, you know, last week against Nebraska, second half, 5 straight possessions. They shut down Nebraska, outscored them 41-7 after being down 16-0.
First time they felt good about themselves closing out a game. Little fake to Jamal Charles. McCoy looking, has a man caught. Pittman down to the 42-yard line. Pickup of about 17 on the play.
Billy Pittman has time to run this crossing route because the offensive line gave time to Colt McCoy, and Colt McCoy used his legs. See this? Used his legs and his vision downfield to complete that one at the top of the show. We talked about completing a lot of different throws. We just saw another one there.
That's Daquan Cosby, his first reception, and they pick up 9 again.
Really not a throw he can't make thus far in his young career, Ron.
Oh, I agree. 7 receptions last week versus Tech, career high for Daquan Cosby. Also, not only receptions, but also yards, had a touchdown. And Texas didn't stress a fast start this week.
And that's amazing, because everyone thinks, oh boy, they spent all this week saying we got to get off to a fast start. But Mac Brown told us we know we want to get off to a fast start. That's everyone's goal, but we don't stress it, because if we don't get off to one, then the kids won't feel like they've let us down or that they've been a disappointment.
And the coaches. Lima Swede to the left. McCoy tucks it, keeps it. Splits the defense as he just rumbles down to about the 22-yard line. Colt McCoy out of Tuscola, Texas. Population 714.
Hold on a second. I thought he was not a good enough athlete to do this.
Yeah.
Isn't that what people kept saying about him? Nice lead block by number 25, Jamal Charles. And then Colt McCoy finds the gap and takes it the rest of the way.
Pick up of 11. Now he looks to run the option. Keeps it, then he pitches it at the last second, and a penalty flag's going to be thrown on that.
Could be a forward lateral.
But it didn't look like he was behind the line of scrimmage. It should be a pass.
That could be. Let's take a look.
He was still behind the sticks.
Because that's when the flag came out, was my first thought by the pitch.
Yeah.
And frankly, his coaches will tell him in film, too late to pitch it at that point. Tuck it and live with the play, and let's come back, because too many bad things can happen.
And you also had the 12th defender over there called the sideline.
Sammy Sideline.
Yeah, Sammy Sideline. Good player.
You know, he doesn't get beat too often either.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Let's listen in.
There's no penalty for illegal forward pass. The passer is behind the line of scrimmage. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
Great call, partner, because the first thing you said was he's behind the line of scrimmage. So it's just like a shovel pass, right?
Yeah. No style points in passing.
No, but
I like diving.
I'll guarantee you Greg Davis, his coach in film, young man,
Yeah.
at that point, tuck it away. Too many bad things can happen.
Colt McCoy has had an incredible freshman year led by that man, Greg Davis, right there.
Correct pass was received. It's second down at the spot of the reception.
Just like a shovel pass, throw it
Exactly.
behind the line of scrimmage to a receiver behind the line of scrimmage, throw it in any manner you want. Shot put it, whatever.
Mike Gundy's a former quarterback. He knows a little something about this. He wants more of an explanation.
Of course.
And now Quan Cosby will go wide to the left. Lima Sweet comes to the near side. Jamal Charles in the backfield. 6:20 to play in the first. Second down and 8 for the Longhorns. They're on the move.
I have not called Sweet's number thus far tonight.
Little shovel pass again. This time to Charles. Breaks over inside the 15. Gets knocked down at the 10. Colt McCoy just showed a great deal of poise again.
He's supposed to have hit the proverbial wall, and he has not done that. All year long, he's been accurate, he's been poised, and he has gradually taken over this team. Remember our meeting with Vance Bedford, defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State? What did he tell us?
First thing, this is his team.
He's seen it. He's recognized the growth in the freshman.
First and goal from the 10. Charles ducks the head as he gets down to about the 8-yard line. They like to throw the fade sometimes in this situation, but when you have that kind of an offensive line like they do, Hill, Studdard, Senline, Blaylock, Ulatowski, don't you just get behind the big studs?
Hey, you like to, because that's what ostensibly what an offensive line needs to do. They like to fire out and hit people.
The tempo's a little bit faster than it was last week for Texas offensively. They're getting to the line a lot quicker tonight.
I think they're feeling good about themselves right now. They're off to a nice start.
Now McCoy rolls, keeps it. Gets away from the defense, still on his feet, looking for the corner, puts his head down, but he is going to be mauled. Lost the football, but they're saying he was down at the 9-yard line. Martell Van Zandt coming up from that cornerback spot. The junior out of Tyler, Texas, Lee High School.
Big hit by the Oklahoma State defense. And they cherish every opportunity to put a hit on the quarterback. Nice bit of running by Colt McCoy. But again, at the end of the play, sometimes you don't want to have so much courage as a quarterback. Lima Sweet trying to get open. Now he's trying to help out, and he sees the big hit that his quarterback takes. At some point, Colt, they're going to want him to get down instead of trying to run over people.
Now Selvin Young in the backfield. Third and goal from the 9 after a loss of 1. We've got motion, jumping, and contact.
You know, Oklahoma State trying to bring a little extra pressure there, may have jumped the gun. Unless they got Texas to move.
Before the snap, offside, defense, half the distance to the goal, still third down.
Well, that makes it even more interesting for this Oklahoma State defense. Giving up about 23 points a game for Coach Gundy and the rest of the squad.
There's the penalties. So far, so good this season, but tonight they already had their average for a game.
Now Texas third down and goal from the 4.
Sweet all the way at the bottom of your screen.
And McCoy's looking, goes for the corner, has a man, tipped incomplete. Pass was intended for Billy Pittman. Jacob Lacey was on the coverage, the sophomore out of Garland, Texas.
No, they use Lima Sweet as the decoy on that play. They really essentially try to run 2 fades. Sweet here, and then Pittman coming out here to try and get the football. Well read by the Oklahoma State secondary. They were in a zone, and the guys didn't bite. Did a terrific job staying back and playing the ball. It's number 17, Jacob Lacey, breaking up the pass. Excellent job by the corner.
Well, Jordan Shipley will hold. Ryan Bailey, the hero of the Nebraska game, will attempt the field goal. They spotted at the 12. It's about a 21-yarder. Good snap. Good hold. Does it again. 2 for 2 on the year. So Texas takes the first lead at 3-0. Now let's send it back to our Steve about the 4th quarter for that, because I think I just lost my partner for the rest of the night.
You know, when you really look at that, though, that win by LSU, that's really almost an extraordinary win because while we were watching the game in pregame here, LSU at one point, I believe, had 4 or 5 turnovers to 0 for Tennessee. And ordinarily, if you give up that many turnovers, you lose the ball game. But they not only won the game, they went on the road and won the game. That's a huge win for the LSU Tigers. And Les Miles, a former head coach here at Oklahoma State.
Absolutely. There you see Cox.
Still bitter with Mark Fine. I gave a nice explanation. Doesn't mean I'm happy with him. Enhanced coverage. I'll enhance his coverage. He gives me another highlight like that.
Kurt Cox, number 8 in the country in kickoff returns. And it is Cox. He's got a little bit of a wall. Dips in, gets over the 20. Tipped up at the 23, 24-yard line. Brandon Foster got a piece of the leg, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys will take over 1st and 10 from that spot. Texas leads the overall series 18-2, 12-1 here in Austin. Last Oklahoma State win here in Austin, or overall, was 1997. Overall was back in the 40s, as Texas has won 9 straight here in the capital of the state of Texas. Inside of 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And fake to Savage, looks left. In the flat, pass is caught by Bowman, his first reception. That's a first down as he gets over the 40 up to the 43-yard line. Pick up a 20 on the play.
Well done by the Oklahoma State football team. Nice route by Darius Bowman, working down in the end against Terrell Brown, number 5. He's playing with a broken toe. Hard to push off and drive. Oklahoma State takes advantage of that. Nice blocking up front by the O-line. Now
Oklahoma State will go into the I formation. They have a bunch of formations as Bowman goes in motion. Looking for Bowman. Pass tipped up in the air. Incomplete. Aaron Ross got a piece of it. Here's a guy, Mr. Takeaway this year. 8 takeaways. He's been involved in 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. All that's led to 31 points. That's his 17th pass broken up this season.
He read that one the whole way. You notice Oklahoma State trying to push the ball downfield. You know, they'll run it at the same time. They don't want just intermediate routes. They want the ball downfield.
Again, the play action to Savage. Again, Reed rolls out, rifles the pass. First down caught by DeJuan Woods. His first reception of the night, the senior from Millwood High School. An outstanding high school of athletes have come from Millwood, including former Major League Baseball player Joe Carter in Oklahoma City.
I'm really impressed by Oklahoma State's offense here in the early going. Bobby Reed's poise. What a beautiful throw. Watch the throw. He gets everything on it. One of the things about him is that he's as accurate a thrower on the perimeter as he is in the pocket. 14-yard gain.
Absolutely. 1st and 10, looks over the sideline again, gets signals. This time a little bit of pressure, looking for the home run ball, has a man down there, overthrown. Pass was intended for Bowman. Scott Derry was the one putting on the pressure. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. And it's 2nd and 10.
He knows who they went after again on that pass play?
Yeah.
Terrell Brown, number 5. They want to check and see how healthy Terrell Brown is. See if he's able to really push and cut and break and drive, and if not, they'll keep going there until Texas makes an adjustment.
On 2nd and 10. The right side, nothing doing for Savage. May have gotten a yard, yard and a half. Savage, the junior out of Columbus, Georgia, spent some time at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He's a 4-3 guy, and they brought him in for one reason, to play, and to play now. A lot of times you bring guys in, you say, it's going to take a while. No. This guy has play-breaking speed.
Exactly. He's a home run hitter from the running back position, and he's already given them a taste of that the last 2 weeks. 134 yards and 117 yards against Texas A&M and Nebraska.
3rd and 7. Oklahoma State 1 of 3 tonight. Texas bringing a lot of people again up to the line.
I think they're showing it. I don't think they'll stay in it. I think they'll back off. Nope, they come.
Here they come. Reed. Oh, it should have been picked off. Incomplete. Scott Derry had it off his hands.
That ball got on Scott Derry so fast, he really didn't have enough time to react. Watch Derry, number 33. See the ball? Ball just knocked away there as Bobby Reed tried to drop in as they were showing a screen.
Michael Griffin came right up again from that strong safety spot, and he's playing with a bad hand, a bad ankle.
Doesn't seem to affect him early. He's already made some nice plays.
Ross again back at his 20, inside of 2.5 to play in the first. Rodgers kick. Ross signals the fair catch. It's over his head. Takes a Texas bounce, and they'll down it at the 12-yard line. 27 yards on the kick. And we are back. Colt McCoy taking over for Vince Young. And one of the keys for him is Vince Young did everything a lot himself. Colt McCoy's getting a lot of support from everybody else on this offense.
Yeah, understand Colt McCoy's having a terrific redshirt freshman season. But the support he's getting from the receivers, the offensive line, the running backs have really aided his development.
He does the play action, looking over the middle, has a man, complete big hit at the 24-yard line. Ron Cosby took the shot. Let's take a look at that again.
And when we talk about support that they're giving him, here's an example, because he really waited a count too long to give him the football. And he had plenty of time, but he waited so long that Quan Cosby cleared too far back into the defense. He made a nice catch and absorbed a big hit. That's supporting Colt McCoy. They really helped him get away with a small error there.
Now the Cowboys show the blitz, and McCoy runs away from it, completes the pass, and another big hit on Jordan Shipley at the 28-yard line. Hit Shipley, the sophomore from Burnett, Texas, just throws the ball down, says no big deal. That's the best you got? That was good.
It's a good job. Never let them see that they've hurt you, right? Jordan Shipley gets up after the big shot. Wow, Jacob Lacey lowers the boom. What I'm seeing right now, Ron, is a Texas team that needs to push the Oklahoma State secondary a little bit. They're hugged up on the receivers pretty well right now. We got to get them backed off.
On 2nd and 6. Nothing doing. That's going to be a big loss on Selvin Young. Xavier Lawson Kennedy, the senior out of Duncanville, Texas. They call him XLK, comes blasting in, makes the stop.
Yeah, he only plays about 20 plays per game due to bad knees. That's one of the 20 that they'll really like, and they will accept. Zone read play. He crashed so hard inside. Colt McCoy thought he should give it off to the running back. Nothing doing.
We still haven't seen the I formation yet from Texas tonight. Anxious to see when we finally see that. They went a lot in the second half against Tech.
And Vance Bedford would rather see that because he thinks the gun formation spreads out his 8-man in the box rules.
And here comes some pressure. McCoy gets it off to Jordan Shipley. And he fights his way close to the 35-yard line. Be just a shade short of that first down marker. Jacob Lacey, third stop, Charles.
And OSU would love to have stopped them here and forced them to punt it.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Only 3 points scored in the opening 15, a field goal. You're watching enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Phillips, where simplicity is not letting anything get between you and your game. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Phillips with limited commercial interruptions. After the first quarter, Texas leading 3-0, only 136 yards total offense between the two teams. UT with 80, Oklahoma State with 56. Along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, I'm Ron Thulin. You look at the true freshman Parrish Cox out of University High School in Waco, Texas. Just up the road. It's a fake, and it's a first down. Rashad Bobineau. Bobineau takes it over the 35 to the 39-yard line.
That's the second time they've run that fake this year, with Rashad Bobineau picking up another first down. Snap it short to the fullback. Bobineau running like a high school fullback, and I'm quite sure he was. And whammo, first down for Texas. To me, that's a great sign of respect from Mack Brown to Oklahoma State, that he feels like he needs to continue to possess the football because of Oklahoma State's explosive offense. Do you go back? Could you come right back now and strike big if you're Texas?
I'd say if you got players like
Momentum
Lavin
play?
Sweet out there, I would.
Big momentum play. Look and see if they can do it.
State again running up to the line. Here they come with a bunch of players. McCoy could be trapped from behind, throws it out into the Oklahoma State bench. Incomplete. We have a penalty flag. Victor DeGray, Marquis Fountain are the ones putting the pressure on McCoy.
Roughing the passer, 97 on the defense, helmet contact, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Fifth penalty against the Cowboys.
They did everything right on this play, except at the end. I think what the penalties for more than anything is where his hands ended up under the chin towards the head of Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he got there too late. I think it's where and how he hit him that they're going to get the call for. It's the Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator. They really looked good all the way up until the penalty flag because the coverage was excellent. So was the pressure.
Well, this Oklahoma State defense does play aggressively. Sometimes it burns it. Charles down to the 40-yard line. Pick up about 6 on the play. Fountain on the tackle. The junior out of Missouri City, Texas.
That was well read by the running back, Jamal Charles. Saw where the gap was and then exploded into it to pick up 5 yards and creating a nice down for the play caller, Greg Davis, on 2nd and 5. Really opens up your options. If you want to strike, you can. If you want to run it again, you can. You're in a good spot as a play caller.
2 tight ends for Texas, Tweedy and Finley. Charles the running back. Looking for some type of room. It's down about the 38-yard line. Maybe a pickup of about 2, possibly 3 on the play. Victor DeGray, his second stop of the evening. The senior out of DeSoto, Texas.
Jamal Charles ran that play as a home run hitter would. But what he did was he recognized that the home run wasn't there and ducked back inside and picked up the tough yards. In other words, he got all that play had for him to bring up third and short. Didn't continue to try and get outside when it wasn't there.
Michael Finley, the tight end on the left side. Selvin Young in the backfield. 3rd down and 2.
Finley's really come along the last 2 ball games as the tight end.
It's Tom McCoy with a quick pass to the outside. Jones breaks a couple of tackles, gets down to the 23-yard line. Pickup of 15 on the play.
Speaking of coming along the last couple of games, Nate Jones had a touchdown catch against Texas Tech. When we talk with Greg Davis, offensive coordinator, he says that the receivers as a whole have really been playing well as of late. Nate Jones, a prime example. That's just his 11th catch of the year.
Welcome back to Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. It's a Big 12 South battle between the Longhorns of Texas and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, I'm Ron Coolin. 1st and 10 to go for the Longhorns. This pass is bobbled, dropped. Crosby had it in his hands. The former center fielder with the Angels organization made it up to Class A ball, hit 260. It was a 6th-round selection back in the 2001 draft, played about 4 years.
Probably wanted his mitt on that play.
Yeah, I bet he did.
You're not going to see that often from Quan Cosby. His last few ball games have really been terrific. 7 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown at Texas Tech.
Well, this Oklahoma State defense has done well so far tonight. And now they've got their backs up against the wall again.
They don't make it easy.
No, they don't. They're very aggressive, and they believe in what they do. Straight ahead, inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. Selvin Young. Patrick Levine on the stop. That'll be his 3rd tackle tonight.
You know, the fans always clamor for the I formation because they like downhill runs. That's a downhill run out of the gun formation. Inside zone play. Colt McCoy read it, handed off inside. Selvin Young ran that like you're running an inside ISO or gap play and busted it up inside for a 1st down.
Matt Brown, who gives his team the pep talk on Thursday night. Says he doesn't wait till Saturday because most of the guys have tuned him out by then.
Yeah, he did that after consulting with a sports psychologist. He's been doing that since his days in North Carolina.
Seems to be working. McCoy looking into the corner. Touchdown, Nate Jones.
Well-thrown ball. But I'm not quite sure what Jacob Lacey was doing on this play because it appeared that he thought the play was over before it was completed. Nate Jones wrapped around him in the corner of the end zone, and Texas has their first 6 of the evening.
Well thrown ball. And with that touchdown pass, Colt McCoy moves into the number 2 spot, tied with a bunch of people for touchdowns by a freshman. And some of the names on that list, including Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger. Here's it again.
All the way down the bottom. Watch, Jacob Lacey's in a good spot. But see how he slows down? Doesn't locate the football at all? He was right there, and the hit of Nate Jones, as good a coverage as you're supposed to have. He just didn't complete the play.
Oh, we've got a very special guest on, the Fuskers. They are in the driver's seat of the North now, but they still have to go to A&M this weekend, and that is not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy, but now because they beat Missouri head-to-head, they hold the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So Missouri needs them to lose twice down the stretch at A&M and against Colorado to finish things off while not losing themselves to have a shot.
Grant Jones on the short kick. We have the ball loose. It is loose at the 27-yard line. Texas has the football. Ryan Palmer has come up with a loose ball, and Coach Gundy's team has turned it over, and Texas has outstanding field position.
And Ryan Palmer made a nice play earlier on a tackle on special teams. The tackle being made, ball coming, yep, ball's popped out there. Right there. Is that Luke Tiemann, number 49?
That's what
I believe knocking the ball free before Ryan Palmer comes up with it. Sudden change now for the Oklahoma State defense. If you're Vance Bedford, you're telling them right now, make sure you're aware of your assignments, your responsibilities. This is the time that Texas would like to strike right at you.
You can see 25 takeaways, second most in the country, plus 11 on their turnover margin. And I think they may be reviewing this. Or did we get a timeout? Texas called the timeout.
Texas may not have had the right personnel on the field that they wanted.
The previous play is being reviewed.
Oh,
That is being reviewed.
The field is confirmed. Fumble. Texas football.
Texas
There's no timeout for Texas.
Texas will have it 1st and 10 on the Oklahoma State 28-yard line. Mac Brown and company in business. Two forms of thought here. Number one, do you go for the big play, or do you try to just completely dismantle a team mentally by pounding it on them and pounding it in?
Now that the sudden change was stopped because of the review, I'd want to run the football at them a little bit. This should have given Oklahoma State a chance to gain their composure on the sidelines during that break. I'd want to run the football now if I'm Texas.
Neiman and Charles in the backfield. Penalty flag. It's a free play. Colt McCoy going into the end zone. Touchdown! Texas is Billy Pittman.
And they came right back and got Jacob Lacey. Remember the last touchdown with Nate Jones? It was the same corner, Jacob Lacey. And this time he stops short in his coverage and tries to leap to knock the ball away. I thought Texas might want to run the ball after the break. Oklahoma State should have had a chance to gain their footing. They chose to strike anyway, and with excellent results.
He has now thrown, Colt McCoy has thrown 2 touchdown passes in 9 of 10 games. That is very impressive. The extra point by Bailey is good. He started the game only 3 away from breaking the touchdown mark. Passes by Vince Young and Chris Sims. How about that? He's tied him up now 1 more, and the record is all his, and he is a redshirt freshman. Let's check in. Well, Mac Brown likes that. In fact, this team is up 17-0, but just for the Oklahoma State fans, don't forget, you trailed 16-0 against Nebraska. You came back and won 41-29. And talking to the players and the coaches yesterday for the Cowboys, if they got down, none of us got the sense that these guys would take the tent, pack it up, and go home.
No, you see the forced turnovers by Texas. They do a great job converting them into points.
Jones from right on the goal line. They have to have something right up the middle. Crosses the 30 up to the 35-yard line. Hunter Lawrence, the kicker, the freshman out of Bernie, Texas, put that 6-foot, 180-pound Adonis frame on him.
Hey, if you're going to take the red shirt off, you might as well play play the whole thing out, not just kick. Terrific job by the freshman kicker, Hunter Lawrence. He took the red shirt off so he could kick off when Greg Johnson was hurt. What a nice job tackling Grant Jones coming up the gut.
Well, the Cowboys have 10:57 to work here in quarter number 2. Remember, this is an explosive Oklahoma State offense.
Yeah, they were down 17 at Kansas also.
Yep.
Came back and won.
Chris Toston, our first look at him, a very talented freshman, gets 12 on the carry. Tim Crowder was hanging on to him. Toston out of Angleton, Texas.
Yeah, just because you're down these points, you don't give up on the run game. It served you well all year long. And last week against Nebraska, it was actually a running play. It was a pass design, but Bobby Reed's legs went for 56 yards. That helped get Oklahoma State kick-started. So we look at their comparison in points, first and second half in the Big 12 this year.
They are a second-half team. 35 yards rushing on 7 carries for the Cowboys. The play action, Reed has a hand in his face, thrown complete to Bowman at the 40-yard line. They push him back, and they'll mark it at about the 43-yard line. Terrell Brown, the senior out of Mesquite, Texas, making the stop from the quarterback spot.
I continue to admire Bobby Reed as a thrower. Getting out on the perimeter on play action, that ball was perfectly thrown. And Darius Bowman's strength as a receiver, absorbing this hit from Terrell Brown as he tries to put the ball away. Look at that. And he still continues to hold on to the ball. Well done between that duo.
I'll go back to the run game, over the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Oklahoma State's going after the 1st and 10 line, and the 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa.
Something quickly to think about, Ron. Sam Polis, our spotter, whispered in my ear on a break here. 2 things. One, I predicted they wouldn't go for the big strike. They did, but it came after a timeout. You know what else came after a timeout? Or after the change of quarters, they had time to think? It's a fake punt. Yeah. Texas's staff using the extra time to go into put into their play calling and using it to their benefit.
2nd down and 7 now for the Cowboys. Looking out in the flat. Bowman breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet as he tiptoes down to about the 26-yard line. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. We have a penalty flag also. He averaged about 18 yards a carry at North Carolina before transferring to Oklahoma State. He is strong and he's quick.
And he picked up a nice block on the perimeter on this screen from his running mate, Dewan Woods,
who prides himself now in blocking.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 27 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Watch the quick screen and then look out. Look at that right there. Those blocks look like Dewan Woods, number 84, and number 4, Anthony Parks. And then after the play's dead, Michael Griffin. Too much extra emphasis. A nice call by the officials.
9:20 to play in the first half. Toston still in the backfield.
See the skill guys looking over for the checks. Wide receivers, tight ends, quarterback and running backs.
Toston straight ahead inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. Frank Ocam, his first tackle of the evening. Just the poise for Bobby Reed, being a sophomore in front of 85,000 people. It's extremely loud, but he didn't look like he was losing his cool down there.
Not at all, and the team looks to the quarterback to help set their composure. But this is a team, as you mentioned, has come back twice this year in Big 12 play from a significant deficit to win ball games. They will not be daunted easily.
Bowman's now wide to the left.
Again, all skilled guys looking to the sidelines to get the checks. One guy hot, everyone else dummy signals.
They fake it. They're going for the corner of the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Anthony Parks. Couple of pump fakes by Bobby Reed. Marcus Griffin on the coverage.
Mike Gundy, the head coach, is also the quarterback's coach. He's going down the play list, listening to the calls by Larry Fedora. The guy in the front signaling, that's Gunter Brewer, the wide receivers coach. His dad, Billy Brewer, was the head coach at Ole Miss when I was playing in the SEC.
3rd down and 4. They need to get to the 3 for the first.
Got to put the ball in Reed's hands and let him create here.
Here comes the blitz. Reed runs away from it. Still looking, throwing, overthrown. Dewan Woods wide open. That would have been 6.
They had what they wanted right there. The ball in Bobby Reed's hands, him approaching the perimeter, and he has a wide open receiver and overthrows him. Dewan Woods able to pick Aaron Ross off. And look at Bobby Reed. He knows that he missed a golden opportunity. Yes, that one's on him, and he knows it.
And they're going to settle for the field goal. It'll be a 24-yard attempt by Jason Ricks. Cole Reynolds is the holder. And he splits the uprights. 8:20 to play in the first half. Oklahoma State on the board. Texas leads at 17-3.
But they know that he's their leader, and he's been accepted in that role.
Well, he said the only thing that Colt McCoy can't do is dance. That's what his teammates were telling us.
Well, he told Tony Hills, well, I don't think you can two-step.
Touche. Although I'd like to see somebody 6'6", 300 pounds two-step.
Well, as long as you're not on the floor with them, it may tilt.
Now Texas will take over with 8:15 to play in the half, leading 17-3. In case you just joined us, they had a 3-0 lead and got up 17-0. Oklahoma State has just kicked the field goal.
I think this is an important defensive series for Oklahoma State. Their offense answered the bell, drove down and got some points for the first time today. Had a chance for 6 and just missed a throw. If you look at the offensive production thus far in this young game, Texas with 159 yards. But I think Oklahoma State needs to get off the field and give the ball back to their offense, which has started to move it.
Here comes the pressure again. Charles dancing around up over the 25-yard line to the 26-yard line. Patrick Levine, 3 tackles tonight. When we talked to both Larry Fedora and Mike Gundy, we said, what are you most proud of your team? And both of them said that they answered the bell. This team does not believe that they are going to lose. In years past, they know they're going to be worn down, but this team comes into games like Nebraska and this believing that they can compete with these guys.
Well, they know that they have the weapons now. They know they have big play capability. Bobby Reed, Darius Bowman, Dewan Woods, second year in the system. So there's a lot more belief in their coaches and the schemes that they put on the field.
Well, they have a lot of motion, but they go straight ahead with it. Jamal Charles will be short of the first down. Log on to Rivals.com and ask Charles Davis a question. Find Ask Charles only on Rivals.com, your online home for college football.
You know, and the last thing that I want to put a cap on when we talked about them answering the bell, go back to the early report by Craig Sager at the top of our show, where he talked about Camp Glass and the offseason conditioning. That gives you a lot more confidence as a team when you know that you're capable of playing 60 minutes of hard football.
3-step drop. Out in the flat, complete to Limas Swede. He's got some running room up over the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Now Oklahoma State says the ball was fumbled, and they've got it. The officials are coming in, waiting for a signal, and Oklahoma State does have the football. Texas fumbled 5 times, lost 3 against Texas Tech, which kept Tech in the ball game. Now they've got their first fumble tonight, and they lose it.
Watch Limas Swede working into Martel Van Zant. See, he gets a little push-off. He doesn't call it a push-off. You know what he calls it? Holding space.
There you go.
Unfortunately, he didn't hold on to the football, and it pops free at the end of the run. Is this going to be challenged?
I thought he was on top of a player again.
Again, but will the Texas staff challenge it? I think they are.
Yes, they are. Texas has not used a timeout yet.
Texas is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Watch at the end of the run. Is he down? Are there whistles blowing the play down? Nope. See, I don't think so. I think Andre Sexton, number 20, pulled the ball out before he was down and the play was completed.
Let's check him.
The field is confirmed. The player fumbled the ball. Texas is charged with the timeout.
That'll be their first timeout.
But I think that was a good challenge by Mack Brown because the turnover happens in their end of the field. If he's fortunate and gets the ruling, he keeps the ball. If not, gives his defense a chance to regroup. And it's not a true sudden change on offense. Now, Texas struck after a sudden change, even after a ruling. Will Oklahoma State try and do the same thing?
Bobby Reed this time goes over center with 6:22 to play in the half. Down by 2 touchdowns. Tostin in the backfield. Play action to him. Looking down the sideline for Bowman. Overthrown. Didn't get enough air underneath that. Marcus Griffin on the coverage.
Well covered. They really had no play there. Trying for the big strike, but it was covered so well. Probably the best thing that could have happened, just throw it away and come back on 2nd and 10. But the Oklahoma State defense did their job. They held Texas and gave their offense the ball right back after they had gone down and kicked the field goal.
3 wide receivers to the left on 2nd and 10. Reed keeps it. Maybe picked up 2 on the play. Let's take a quick check-in on how. It's a big 3rd down for the Cowboys. 3rd down and 8. Nope. Play is stopped. Penalty flag is thrown. It's going to go against Oklahoma State.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
6 penalties against the Cowboys, and as we mentioned, they only average 4.
They keep putting themselves behind the chains on offense, either with penalties or because Larry Fedora is pushing it on offense, throwing the ball on 1st down. That's the double-edged sword. 1st down is usually a good time to throw it because people are thinking run as we look at the penalty situation tonight. But if you don't pick up good yardage, then you're behind the chains, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and that's hurt Oklahoma State a bit tonight.
4th false start against the Cowboys tonight. 3rd down and 13. Poston and Savage flank Reed. Texas showing blitz. They only bring 4. Reed going down the sideline. Pass is going to be picked off. Michael Griffin. Out to the 7-yard line. Griffin with the interception, his 3rd of the year.
The coverage is so good by Aaron Ross, number 31, that he allowed Michael Griffin to be a bracket for him from the inside, coming from the free safety position. He ends up becoming the receiver, and another offensive possession for Oklahoma State thwarted by the Texas defense. Turnover created by the Oklahoma State defense, given right back by the Oklahoma State offense.
7 straight games as defense of Texas has intercepted the pass. Griffin has been under a lot of criticism in Texas because of what the defense has given up through the air. He says, listen, we're trying. We're just dinged up.
I'll give him the film of Michael Griffin the last 2 weeks, and you tell me how critical you need to be. He's played quite well in those two ball games.
There's Selvin Young. Puts his head down. It's up to about the 8-yard line. Pick up a 1 on the play. Darnell Smith, the junior out of Taft High School, down the road in San Antonio with his first stop of the evening.
This is where the Oklahoma State defense can turn a negative into a positive. They got field position out of this. Texas starting at their own 8-yard line. If they can hold them here, force another punt, field position really changes in this game.
And we have an injury timeout. The Texas player is down at about the 7-yard line. It's one of the big guys.
He knows how the big guys all check on their own.
Casey stuttered walking away.
Is that Mr. Blaylock, I believe, Justin Blaylock, number 63.
We highlighted during our lineups. Let's talk about that Oklahoma State defense. We have a second here. The fact that Larry Fedora did have some NFL experience. I should say Vance Bedford has NFL experience. What does he bring from the NFL that you can apply to college?
He brings the NFL principles. A lot of zone blitz principles. Remember, he was with the Chicago Bears with Dick Duran and then Lovie Smith. And Justin Blaylock good. He's up and walked off under his own power, which is a nice sign. But anyone who watches any NFL football understands how well Chicago plays defense. You can bring all the schemes you want. You still need the Urlachers.
That's right.
To run with it. Oklahoma State trying to build that. Some of the zone blitz scheme can confuse the team. And the clinching touchdown against Nebraska last week came off of a zone blitz. They forced the fumble. Nathan Peterson, DN, picked it up and ran it in. He had dropped back into coverage from his DN position.
Well, it looks like Lyle Senline will move over to the right guard spot. Then Dallas Griffin, the junior out of Katy, Texas, Taylor High School, moves up to the center spot.
And this is not new. Texas has been working on this in ball games most of this season.
But they do face second and 8, 4:40 to play in the half. Jamal Charles breaks into the secondary, crosses the 20 up to the 23-yard line. Levine with his 4th stop of the evening, but not before Texas gets another first down.
The Texas running backs are doing a much better job reading. Watch the middle, watch the center. Just coming into the ball game. Dallas Griffin, nicely done, giving a hole for Jamal Charles to hurdle through, and the ball pops out again. I will say this, after that 14-yard gain, the Texas running backs have to do a much better job taking care of the football. They lost three fumbles last week at Texas Tech.
Charles this time tripped up in the backfield. Andre Sexton has 5 stops tonight. He's a redshirt freshman out of Cypress Falls, Texas, and Houston, Texas. 2 tackles for a loss. He forced a fumble, had a recovered fumble already. We're not even at halftime yet.
He's all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah.
He would have played last year, but for a broken forearm, held him back. They love his talent, and he's playing very well. And now that helps that guy right there, the defense coordinator, Vance Bedford, and what he can do scheme-wise, because it's second and long. He has the advantage.
He likes to be aggressive on his defensive calls. McCoy, the quick pass to Pittman. Tripped up at about the 28-yard line. Woods on the tackle. Donovan Woods.
The former quarterback.
And you know, we talk about Sexton. Woods moved over to free safety because Sexton was so good, because Woods was really a strong safety, and they knew they had to get Sexton in the lineup.
Yeah, they had to get him onto the field. They wanted Bobby Reed to take over the quarterback position. Moved Donovan Woods over to the free safety. Allowed Sexton to play strong safety.
Lima Sweet wide to the right. Fresh set of downs for Texas. McCoy looking. Goes down the left side. Has a man wide open. Caught. Cosby down inside the 30, down about the 28-yard line, and will also tack on some more because of a face mask.
Quan Cosby was not the primary receiver on this play. Colt McCoy was looking opposite, came back to him, and he had run a nice route over Martell Van Zandt and makes the catch. And then, as you said, partner, Martell Van Zandt with the face mask. We'll get plenty more. Watch him. He's going to look over here first.
And it looked like Sweet was open, too.
And then he comes back and hits Quan Cosby. Well done in the pocket.
And half the distance to the goal. Cosby covered 51 yards on that play. That's his longest this year.
The ambassador of Quan.
3 receptions, 73 yards. And we mentioned coming off that career high and career best last week against Tech. And now Mike Gundy's team sees Texas about to answer that field goal that his squad kicked. With 2:47, plenty of time left.
And Texas has changed field position in a big way, looking to tack on to their point total.
Charles looking for pay dirt, looking for the pylon, doesn't get to it. Knocked out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. We saw the last 2 years right here on TBS. Texas was down by a bundle in the first half. Came back and won both of those in the last 3 years. Texas outscored Oklahoma State 118-0 in the second half. But this time it looks like they've turned the tables. It's been 7 years since they've led an Oklahoma State team wire to wire.
And I think that Greg Davis wants to mash a little bit here. Luke Tiemann, number 49, the fullback, has come into the ball game. And when he's in the game, follow him. You usually follow the football.
Pittman in motion. Charles takes a pop right as he gets down about the 7-yard line. No gain on the play. Roderick Johnson has 3 tackles tonight. Here's Chris Dunn.
Greg Sager knows his grass. Superintendent understands the humidity, the dew points, getting torn up. Man knows everything.
3rd down and 4. McCoy scrambling, hit as he throws. Ball's loose in the air. Does Oklahoma State have it? No. Victor DeGreat is the one that lowered the boom on Colt McCoy, coming in from that defensive end spot.
Great pressure by Victor DeGreat. Coming from your right side, a former linebacker moved to defensive end. His coach Vance Bedford says that no one can block him one-on-one. He does a great job forcing the incompletion and forcing a field goal attempt by Texas. Vance Bedford not happy about the yardage given up, but he has to be pleased that Texas is lining up for a field goal. When we were here a couple of weeks ago when they faked it with Jordan Shipley, I don't think we'll see a fake here. I think this is straight away, and they'll go ahead and kick it.
24-yarder for Ryan Bailey. Already has one tonight. And give him another one. So Bailey doing the job, the true freshman. He's got a pretty good tackle after a kickoff. Now he's got that. And Texas goes up 20-3. Now let's step aside and listen to a message. All right, welcome back to Austin, Texas. 20-3 is our score. Texas leading Oklahoma State with 1:48 to play in the first half. Hunter Lawrence set to kick it away.
Hunter Lawrence, big tackle.
Yeah. This is going to be right at the goal line. Here's Cox looking for the wall on the left side. Texas closing, and they'll corral him at the 7-yard line. But thanks, Mark. And Oklahoma State, they're back to the wall, 133. This is a place you do not want to make any kind of mistakes. They keep it on the ground up over the 14-yard line as Keith Toston. Bobineau, 4 stops tonight. Oklahoma State wants about 8 to 10 explosion plays a ball game. They only have 1 in that first half, but this probably isn't the place where you're going to get the explosion plays.
No, you don't want the explosion of Texas picking up a turnover and going into the end zone and striking up the band before the half. You want to try and get out of here with no damage at this point unless you break a big play.
Reed has time, gets clobbered as he lets the ball go. Complete. Up to the 15-yard line. Killebrew holding on.
Will Texas take a timeout here?
I would. Tim Crowder, by the way.
Yeah, I'll try and get another play.
Tim Crowder is the one who put the hit on Bobby Reed on that before Hamilton got it.
See, if I'm Oklahoma State and Texas isn't taking the timeout now,
just let the clock go.
I go ahead and run it down, do something safe, and get out of here. It's only, is it 20-3 right now? You don't want to make it worse at this point. Are we really doing an Oklahoma State-Texas game? The Texas isn't down at the half?
I think Mac would want us to come back next week. This may be the final play of the half. Toston straight up the middle, trips a little bit as he gets up to the 25-yard line. He is down. And we have a penalty, or a player down, a Texas player down at the 30-yard line.
It's like Terrell Brown,
Terrell Brown. He's been having the toe problems. But he's down away from the play. That's what is kind of odd.
Top of the screen. Cut block by the wide receiver. Perfectly legal downfield.
Anthony Parks on the block.
Trying to take down the defensive back because he's facing him head up. Not even, it wasn't a blindside crack that would have been illegal from the backside. Good clean play. Terrell Brown unable to protect himself the way he wanted to. Hopefully he'll be hopping up here in a moment.
Now the Longhorns, after tonight, don't have a whole lot of games left. And here is their schedule, what they've done so far. Of course, the second week of the year, they lost to Ohio State right here in Austin. But this is a completely different team, a more physical team since that date where they lost to the #1 team in the country.
They also have a redshirt freshman quarterback. That was his second start total in his career against Ohio State. Since then, he has really elevated his play. They'll go take on some cold and maybe some more snow next week at Kansas State.
9 seconds left. Reed. He is scrambling. Pass complete. Knocked out. Big hit. Zeros on the clock. They said it was a completion. A fumble out of bounds. It doesn't make any difference because that's the end of the first half. Right before the last play, we had a little bit of sportsmanship. How about Mr. Parks coming up and making sure that Mr. Griffin's okay? We like seeing that. Congratulations to both players on that.
Well done.
Here's Craig Sager with Mac Brown.
Well, Coach, quite a different script than we're used to seeing from Texas, particularly in the series against Oklahoma State. Why the different game plan, or what's different tonight?
Well, nothing except we're playing with a lot of emotion. We're playing hard. We're back at home, which helps us some too. Craig, the other thing is, though, you go back to the script we've got to watch is the one that Nebraska had last week with Oklahoma State. They were down 16-0, and this team's different, that they're a better football team than last year's. That was a 4-7 team. So they're going to come back, and they've talked all week about the second half. You can promise asked yourself that. So they'll play a great second half. We need to get something out of this first 5 minutes again.
Their offense is one of the most prolific in the country. You're holding them to just 3 points. Talk about how great the defense is playing.
Well, they're playing hard. They're playing good. A lot of guys playing courageous because they've been banged up some, but we've also forced some turnovers. The turnover on the goal line down here, and then the change of field position to get the 3 points was big for us.
All right, thanks a lot. It's halftime, and Texas is leading.
Watching enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Phillips, where simplicity is not letting anything get between you and your game. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Phillips with limited commercial interruptions. As we get set to start the second half, Texas leading Oklahoma State 20-3, along with Charles Davis. I'm Ron Thulin. For Oklahoma State, you look at the penalties, you look at 2 turnovers. That costs 10 points, but that's the bad news. The good news is you have more rushing yards than anybody since the Oklahoma game against this Texas defense.
They do have 61 here at the half, and Texas had only given up a combined 64 in their last 3 games, so there is hope there for Oklahoma State. They do need to get Dantrell Savage unleashed because he only has 3 yards in the first half. As we look at our stats package, Colt McCoy is 14 of 17 throwing the football, leading to 193 yards. The turnovers that Ron alluded to, Texas is +1 in that category and has turned that into nice points for themselves. And the penalty situation, what a surprise for Oklahoma State, the most disciplined team in the Big 12 coming into tonight. They've almost doubled their normal output of penalties.
Now the kickoff goes into the end zone, so Texas will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. They won the toss at the start of the game. They deferred, so they get the ball back. And Mac Brown's team right now feeling very good about themselves. He said they're playing with a lot of emotion, telling Craig Sager at halftime. And this is the kind of game, you're up 20-7. You have a quarterback who's extremely hot. You see the numbers on him, a couple of touchdown passes, only 3 incompletions tonight. And you think that maybe Texas just wants to grind this one out and take the heart and spirit out of this Oklahoma State team, but that'll be difficult since this OSU team does not get down.
Very, very important series to start the second half, to me, especially for Oklahoma State's defense. They don't want to turn the first 5 minutes into the Texas show.
And Straight ahead running. Colt McCoy keeps it. Not much going on. About a pickup of a yard just before the start of the second half. Greg Sager talked to Coach. And Texas out to Billy Pittman in the second half, by the way. In the 4 conference games, this Oklahoma State team has put up 111 points. So they are posting in the second half.
What I found interesting about Coach Undy's comments, the number one thing was he said we have to get Bobby settled down, Bobby Reed.
Yeah.
That may have something to do with him being a Texan. You know, most of the roster coming back for this ball game are Texas guys, so they always wanted to prove themselves against UT. And Bobby Reed still carries what he calls, you know, he wasn't called, but it seems like a grudge that UT didn't pick him first in recruiting as their quarterback. He wants to show them something.
And we'll tell you who were the first 2 they selected. On third down, McCoy over to Jermichael Finley, straight ahead, over the 40 to the 42. First and 10, pickup of 19 for Finley. Now those, look at it again.
Jermichael Finley continues to improve with every game. I believe this is his first catch of the evening as he hurdles downfield, but I think there's a penalty flag that occurred that they're going to discuss it.
On the offense.
Well, that hurts.
On the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
So that means he still has no catches on the night, despite what we just saw. It may be on film, but it doesn't count.
You saw the reaction by Mack Brown, but the 2 players that were ahead of Bobby Reed that Mack Brown went after, one, John David Booty, now starting quarterback at Oklahoma or at USC, and also Rhett Bomar, who was at Oklahoma. And Mack Brown says there's 359 players in the state of Texas. We can't recruit every one of them. But he said they did beg Bobby Reed to come to Texas.
Yeah, you only have so many scholarships. Not like the good old days where you could get as many as you want.
Now third down and 12. McCoy's going to put it up. Brings it down. Rush from behind. Over the middle. Caught by Billy Pittman. First down at the 40-yard line. McCoy can throw from a straight drop back. He can throw on the run. Pickup of 23 on the play.
He can make every throw. Refer back to the top of the show. This time he moves out of the pocket. The best part about him is he keeps his vision downfield to locate the receivers and find them cutting through the secondary, and then he delivers strikes.
This is a guy in the win streak. 70% of his passes have been complete. On the year, 24 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Oklahoma State brings 8 in the box. Here they come. Penalty flag is thrown. McCoy running away from trouble. To Finley again. Running room straight down the sideline. Still on his feet as he gets down to the 20. But there is a penalty flag back at the 40-yard line. Pickup of 40 on the play.
A 40-yard play, 19.
Texas seems to believe that it's going against Oklahoma State.
Offside on the defense, number 2. Penalties decline. First down.
Roderick Johnson, the linebacker, jumped the gun and still wasn't a factor because Colt McCoy rolled away from the pressure. Got outside the pocket, little dump pass. Jermichael Finley, good block on the corner. That's number 2, Billy Pittman. And Finley mad that the previous catch was taken away from him. Gets one that's going to go down in the books in ink.
Now Pittman goes wide to the right. First and 10. Ball is on the 19-yard line. Charles looking for the 10. Gets down about the 10 and a half.
And that's a run that you feel good about as an offense. Offensive line got a chance to zone block and fire out and hit people. Jamal Charles cut it up inside and ran hard for his 8 yards.
And that'll bring up a second down and 2. Ball's on the 11.
Balance set. Sorry, Ron. Solo formation. Look to play action off of this.
Although just going to run it over the left side with Jamal Charles. He does get the first down. Down to about the 9-yard line. Roderick Johnson now with 4 stops tonight. And Mack Brown's team methodical on their drives. But one of the things about this Oklahoma State defense, because they call aggressively, Charles, they are sometimes susceptible for the big play, which we saw there, the 40-yarder.
It's always hard. That's why coaches always talk about gap control. Everyone goes in the right gap. They call run fits. If you're in the right place, you have a chance to make the play. If you go in the wrong gap, it opens things up. Once again, a balanced formation.
First down and goal from the 9.
With the fullback in now.
Pittman in motion. Jumping around by Oklahoma State. Charles tries to spin away from the pressure. May have lost a couple on the play. Roderick Johnson again with the penetration from that middle linebacker spot. The junior out of Ball High School in Galveston, Texas.
Let's see here if Greg Davis sends in a play and tells Colt McCoy to go longer count. Not necessarily get the offsides, but to make them declare on defense that they're coming. And if so, gives him the opportunity to check out of it. Check out of that play or go to his bootleg action.
Limas Swede wide to the right. Looks like he may be covered one-on-one. That's a difficult chore ahead. Now they're looking. They throw it underneath. Pittman in the 5, down to the 3, to the 2-yard line. Billy Pittman's 7th catch of the evening.
So they saw the penetration the previous play. So they came back now and faked it inside and went bootleg. Lima Swede open on the play. Colt McCoy going to the short cutter underneath. Hard to argue with the success of the play. I mean, Swede's thinking, well, it would have been 6.
Yeah, well, Limas was hoping that he'd get touchdown number 11.
But there's never a time a receiver doesn't think he's open.
Yeah. Well, now he's on the right side.
Be one-on-one to the short side of the field.
Charles and Obadiah. Chris Obadiah in the fullback spot. Looking for Sweet in the end zone. Throwing up. Incomplete. Coverage on the play by Martel Van Zandt.
That's a tough one because are they trying to throw it short inside to Lima Swede, or do they want the ball thrown more over the outside shoulder? In any event, Martel Van Zandt had terrific coverage on the play.
Was that shades of Nebraska?
Shades of Nebraska, where the fade was thrown inside as opposed to outside and allowed the defenders to make a play on the football.
Well, Coach Bedford's got to be pleased with his defense because they had their backs against the wall again, and they're probably going to settle for a field goal. Shipley will hold. Ryan Bailey, 28-yarder, and it is good. Check that, 19-yarder. Now, Colt McCoy's having a pretty good night tonight, throwing the football, 18 to 22, a couple of touchdowns. His longest pass, 51 yards. The coaches at Texas say the Texas quarterback gets way too much praise when they win and way too much blame when they lose. But Colt McCoy is keeping
prevalent with his legs. So many people thought that he was just going to be a pocket passer. They forgot that he ran the ball out of the spread offense in high school too, and ran it quite effectively. And we've seen how his legs have aided him tonight, as well as last week at Texas Tech, icing the game.
Hunter Lawrence set to kick it away. He said he's just a small-town boy trying to live the dream.
Well, he's living it quite well.
I'd say so. From the 11-yard line, Grant Jones looks to go the other way. Wall setting up, gets the block. He's on his way, and he may go to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, 10. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. The first kickoff return against the Longhorns in 67 games. 89 yards.
How about that? He loves the number 89. Earlier this year, he had a kickoff return for 89 yards at Kansas State, but it didn't culminate in the end zone with 6 points. He did a great job getting back to the wall and then warding off Hunter Lawrence with a straight arm. The last guy who had a shot at him, well blocked, well run by Grant Jones.
That ties his longest kickoff return of the year at 89, but that's his first return for a touchdown. Cox has one, and now Jones has one. That's why they are number 4 in the NCAA in kickoff returns. Are dangerous. The extra point is good. One more look at this again. Grant Jones takes it at the 11, and he is off on an 89-yard kickoff return. Pulls Oklahoma State within 13. Now, here's a message from Grant Jones, a senior out of Pawnee, Oklahoma. 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Cuts the Texas lead to 23-10. 9:28 to play in quarter number 2. How about that? The first points allowed in the second half versus Oklahoma State since 2002.
It has been a different game than what we've been used to seeing these two teams the last 2 seasons. But Oklahoma State's defense deserves some credit.
Absolutely.
They held Texas to field goals in a number of situations where it could have been touchdowns. And that game could have got, this game could have gotten away from them. Instead, they're still in it.
Cosby. He's looking to make some noise. Gets up over the 20-yard line to the 21-yard line. Now it's time for our second Phillips text question of the night. What song does the Longhorn Band traditionally play after the third quarter? A, March Grandioso, B, Texas Fight, or C, Wabash Cannonball? You can text message your answer at A, B, or C to 88222 and do it now. Our guys got too much time on their hands.
Can we give any hints? Because
it's not what you think. Let's put it that way.
if you're picking C, you get the wrong Big 12 team.
Jamal Charles in the backfield. 5 to snap it for Colt McCoy. And Charles looking for any type of running room. The white jerseys just corral him right at the 20-yard line. Patrick Levine, the freshman out of Houston, Texas, Jersey Village High School, doing yeoman's work tonight. 7 tackles for this true freshman. He thought he'd be a redshirt. No go.
A high school safety, no less. They converted to linebacker. They really thought they were going to redshirt him. Instead, they can't get him off the field.
Here's a guy that was dinged in the A&M game. Shows up in Nebraska, says, I don't want to play with any brace on. They thought they'd limited his plays. Ended up playing 60-plus plays.
Yeah, shed the knee brace before the game. 67 plays. And great production. 11 tackles and a forced fumble.
Colt McCoy rolling to the right, looking for Shipley. No, throws it instead over the middle, caught at the 35-yard line. Neil Tweedy, the tight end, his first reception of the night. Nope, they're saying it's incomplete now. Check that.
I guess so. He got hit by 3 players.
Donovan Woods.
Well done on the secondary coverage. Because if Neil Tweedy made that catch, I was getting ready to say that's another example of the support Colt McCoy is getting, because that was a difficult spot that his tight end was in to throw that ball and expect him to make the catch amongst 3 Cowboy defenders.
Well, you can see what Texas has done between 4 and 9 yards on third down. They're at 3rd and 9. This time Oklahoma State backs off. They rush 5. McCoy feels pressure left side, dumps it off to Jordan Shipley. Up to the 35-yard line. He's got the first down. Shipley out of Berta, Texas, a sophomore. First, he had a knee problem his freshman year. Last year, the hamstring. Coach Mack Brown could not say enough good things about this young man.
Nor Greg Davis, his offensive coordinator. Well done. Pretty much flushed everyone downfield and brought Jordan Shipley underneath on a shallow cross. No one was left. Turned it into a 16-yard completion.
Texas scored first in the ball game, and when they do under Mack Brown, they win 92% of the time. They're trying to increase that tonight.
Now, that's not one of those Coach Brown stats.
This may be a reverse, and it is to Shipley. Looks for a block, gets one from Colt McCoy at the 40.
Let the legend grow.
Oh my, Colt McCoy was not afraid to put the shoulder into a white jersey.
Let the legend grow. We talked about him being able to make all the throws. How about him helping his teammates out with a block coming right here? And that wasn't just anyone that he blocked. That was Victor DeGreat, one of the better defensive ends in the Big 12.
Looks like he cleated him a little bit there. Victor got off his feet a little bit.
Victor will be very unhappy watching the film because no one likes a quarterback to block them.
That's a 1st and 10 now. McCoy sees pressure, throwing this up down the sideline for grabs. Incomplete. Pass intended for Nate Jones.
The pressure forced that incompletion because if he had been able to set and locked it downfield, he has a chance on a play. But because the pressure got there early, he had to unload, and he had to unload flat on a line. Didn't give his receiver a chance to run underneath it. Good job by Oklahoma State.
And Mike Gundy's trying to coach up his team a little bit here. 2nd down and 10, 7.5 to play in the 3rd. They want to get pressure one-on-one from the defensive ends for Oklahoma State. That's their key. From the shotgun. McCoy dumps it off as he gets hit. Charles maybe picks up 2 on the play. Patrick Levine again on the stop. Our 1st and 10 line tonight is brought to you by Napa.
if I'm going to offer any criticism, and maybe criticism's the wrong word, how about advice to Colt McCoy? When you're running the option, we saw it earlier, when he ended up turning it into a forward pass, and it was a completed one. He's got to be careful getting down the line, late pitches to his tailbacks while people are draped on him. Often the recipe for disaster. Got to be very careful with the football.
Now Sylvan Young is checked into the backfield. Third down, almost 11. McCoy steps up, tripped up right at the 45-yard line by Marquis Fountain. That's his first sack, second sack of the night for the Cowboys.
You just mentioned it, partner. One-on-one pressure from the defensive ends. Being able to get to the quarterback. You have a keen insight, Mr. Thulin.
Lucky.
Because you saw that one coming.
Lucky.
Well done by Marquis Fountain getting upfield, then reversing course to knock down Colt McCoy. The Oklahoma State defense forced a field goal last possession. Now they're forcing what appears to be a punt. Texas faked one earlier. I think they'll go ahead and unload this one.
And how many times have we seen good teams allow teams to hang around in games like this? Penalty flag, the kicker is roughed again. So Oklahoma State with another costly penalty as they're down at the 15-yard line. And it looks like Greg Johnson is down.
The kicker, 13 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And Mac Brown's going out on this one. Nathan Peterson is the one who got him.
And this is not, we saw this earlier, didn't we? Where it was running into the kicker, a 5-yard penalty. This is roughing, 15 yards, and a first down. Nathan Peterson, yes, rolls right into him and catches the plant leg. Now understand, he's not trying to be malicious. He just missed blocking the punt. And because he missed the wrong way, his momentum rolled into the punter.
So that was not a malicious hit
Not
by
at all.
that young man.
Not at all. Last week's Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, Nathan Peterson.
Let's check in with Craig.
Palms. They are the dance team, also known as the Chap Girls. By the way, they do put those chaps on one leg at a time. And over on the far side, you have the co-ed cheerleaders. 24 of the most athletic and talented people you'll find at any campus. They do all the pyramids, the stunts, the tumbling, the acrobatics. You become one of those members by invitation only. A lot of depth, but you need it because there are more injuries in cheerleading than in all other sports combined in the NCAA. Always a great show, every campus, and nobody does it better than they do here at Texas. Ren?
Always doing your homework, Craig, and as a former cheerleader yourself, and Willie the Wildcat at Northwestern, much appreciated by all the cheerleaders across the country.
And do you understand this too? I know Craig already knows this. Next week marks an anniversary. In 1955, Harley Clark, a cheerleader at Texas, introduced the hook 'em horn sign.
There you go. Little Texas trivia there for you.
That would have been, I believe, November 11. So next week would mark an anniversary. I'm sure Craig already knew that.
Meanwhile, back on the field, costly penalty. Greg Johnson is up. He seems to be okay. Jamal Charles now in the backfield. So here the Oklahoma State defense comes up with a great stop, but Texas still has the ball. Charles straight ahead running. Past the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Jamal Charles, just a sophomore from Port Arthur, Texas, number 2 rushing last year for the Texas Longhorns, and I'll tell you, he's got the entire package.
At the Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year, he has run a 10-1-3 100 meters. Last year, he won the Big 12 championship. I believe he finished top 5 in the NCAAs in the 100-meter dash.
Well, he had a rushing touchdown, though, since Iowa State wants to get a little 6 on the board. A quick flare-out pass to the 33-yard line. It's complete to Lima Swede. That's only Swede's second reception of the ball game.
Such a killer for the Oklahoma State defense. They've made a nice stop. Looked like they were going to get the ball back, give it to their offense, give them a chance to go down and score. Instead, you run into the kicker. Field position changes. Texas keeps the ball. And you know what else keeps happening?
The clock keeps running.
See that right there?
Yep.
It keeps spinning. And as long as it ticks, it's not good while Texas has possession of the football.
They doubled their penalty output prior to this game tonight. 8 penalties, 68 yards. And Texas is going to call a timeout, 3rd down, and about 1. They're only 9 yards total offense, only 150 for Oklahoma State. Mack Brown did something great too. He talked to his team Thursday about the BCS, said, any questions? Okay, let's put it to bed. These guys are focused, and you can see in the results of their year so far.
And you know they're tired of kicking field goals tonight. Looks like they're going to jump and get a free first down on that one.
Henry Milton had checked in, who's also getting some time and on the defensive side of the ball.
That's a
part of Grapevine.
great point you just brought up, though, about the BCS.
Offside. On the defense, number 90, 5-yard penalty, result of the penalty, first down.
What Mack Brown does is he talks to his team about what their goals are. He talks about the BCS, and then at the end of talking about it, as you said, he says, no questions, let's put it away. What he also does is he puts a subtle message in. Guys, if we lose a game, we can still win the Big 12, but we can't win the national championship. So if you want me to keep talking about this, that means,
that's right.
Right? It's that simple. If we lose, we won't talk about it anymore. A nice subtle message to his team about what still lies out there for them.
He says, remember November. Only 3 losses in November since Mack Brown's taken over this program. McCoy, little play action pass. Throws complete. Touchdown, Texas. Jermichael Finley.
Right at you, Colt McCoy to Jermichael Finley. And here, Jacob Lacey has a chance to make the tackle, unable to do so. Unfortunately for this young man, the 3rd time tonight, he's had an opportunity with a receiver that's resulted in a touchdown. I'm not sure if he got confused on the coverage, thought that someone else had that responsibility, but he was out there one-on-one, wide open. And Jermichael Finley won that battle in the open field.
And he is now the all-time passer for touchdowns in a single season. Finley with the reception. 3 touchdown catches for the redshirt freshman out of Diboll, Texas. But it's the Colt McCoy show tonight. He has passed Chris Sims. He has passed Vince Young. 27 touchdown passes for this redshirt freshman that in spring practice was actually in a battle with Jevon Sneed. And you can see the numbers there.
Well, there's some pretty significant names that he's passed. Major Applewhite is a guy that he's often compared to. I think a lot of that is look and build and how Major started as a freshman also. He surpassed him numbers-wise. How about this one too, partner? That's 315 yards now for the game. Another career high for Colt McCoy.
Well, he's,
so darn precise, 21 of 27 throwing the ball.
Mack wasn't sure he wanted to see TBS again after, some of the games we've had. Colt's going to like us. 6 touchdown passes against Baylor on our air. Now he becomes the all-time touchdown passer in Texas history. He's going to like us.
He's got to like us. And what Mack really likes is that drive ended up in the end zone instead of kicking a field goal.
On the last time they kicked off, Oklahoma State took it back all the way. This is Parrish Cox, the true freshman. Not this time, up to the 25-yard line. Well, as we do every game, it's time for our Aflac trivia question. Entering November, what is the lowest a BCS champion was ranked in the BCS?
Okay, I won't give it away, but I'm going to give a hint anyway.
Go ahead.
That program won a very significant game today on the road. That's what I think it is anyway. I hope I'm right.
And my hint is because of that win, somebody up here is crying. little extra hint there.
Yeah, not subtle at all.
No. First and 10 from the 25. Cowboys are explosive, though. Bowman takes a knee as he catches it at the 32-yard line. That's Bowman's 4th reception. The last couple of games, he's only averaged 3 catches a ball game because a lot of teams have been bracketing him.
See, there's the signals coming in. One's live, one's a fake. But if I'm Texas right now, I'm going to try and guess along with Gene Chizik a little bit. I think he'll play a little more coverage here and tell his front 4, his defensive front 4, I'm counting on you guys to get after the passer. I want my linebackers in coverage. 2nd
and short. Reed keeps it, pitches. Back to Toston. Got the first down over the 35 up to about the 37-yard line. Tim Crowder gets his 3rd stop of the evening. We're seeing Bobby Reed run a lot of different plays. Last year, because of the 3 toes that were injured, he was very indecisive. What they do now is they try to give him plays Monday through Wednesday, then they spend some time with him talking about it.
Yeah, they kind of force feed the game plan, and then after Wednesday night, they go over with him what he's comfortable with and what he's not comfortable with. They don't want to do it early because they don't want him to feel like he can't accomplish anything.
And he is going to be sacked this time back at the 33-yard line by Brian Robinson. His 4th sack of the year, the man they nicknamed Freight Train.
Yeah, he got that nickname as a youngster playing. I guess a fan or another parent called him that because of the way that he was playing. But Freight Train really brought a wallop with him on this one. The Big 12 shot put and discus champion, and 2nd in the NCAA in the shot put. Brian Robinson, a true two-sport athlete.
And he's an All-American in track. Now Savage checks in the backfield. 2nd down and 15, inside of 3.5. Reed looks to pitch it again, up over the 35-yard line. Savage, Killebrew on the stop. Once again, our Aflac trivia question is, entering November, what is the lowest a BCS champion was ranked in the BCS? And
all I know is I think it's LSU.
We'll take a look.
Somewhere around 7 or 8.
2003, they were ranked 7th.
And they lost to Florida that year in the regular season, ran the table, and beat Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl to win the BCS National Championship. USC went home claiming the AP championship.
That's right. Savage in the backfield, 3rd down and 12. The crowd's into it. Here comes the blitz. Reed steps up, gets away from the pressure, throws incomplete. Pass intended for Ricky Price. Terrell Brown was right there on the coverage.
Gene Chizik, Dwayne Aquina decide to heat up Bobby Reed with the blitz. The only way you can make it work. Yeah, you need good coverage in the secondary. Terrell Brown is all over Ricky Price on that play. He ran the route with him and nearly came up with an interception.
Hodges' 4th punt of the evening. Texas has only punted once tonight. Ross back at the 23.
Texas looks like they're showing pressure. I bet they're setting up a return. You don't want to get the football back to Oklahoma State.
And it's blocked. And they're just going to let it roll to the 50, down to the 45, to the 44-yard line. And the special teams step up for Texas.
How about that pressure? I thought they would peel back and set up a return, but they were able to melt through 2 or 3 guys coming after it. And Matt Melton, number 18, gets it.
Well, they had that covered perfectly.
Yeah, Matt Melton could have gotten it. Nate Jones, number 9, had a shot at it. Well done. See, Ron, I thought they'd peel back. Yeah. Because I thought they'd say, hey, I don't want a penalty here. I just want the ball. Instead, they played aggressively.
You can see the block kick since 2000. Everybody talks about Virginia Tech. Well, Texas is plus 10 on them now since then.
How about that?
And now they've got outstanding field position. Ball on the 44-yard line. Charles up over the 45 to the 46-yard line. You know, you look at this game and you say, gee, it feels like Texas is ahead by a lot. They've been so methodical on this. Yes, they're up by 20, but they seem to be very much in control of this football game right now, and you think that Oklahoma State better do something that gets Texas out of this rhythm, this tempo they're in right now.
They can't afford to let Texas continue to drive it. They have to force turnovers. They've got to knock the ball free. They've got to collect it for their offense in good field position to give them an opportunity to score quickly. Texas is bleeding the clock now, too.
And there's 2 minutes left to be played. Little end around to Shipley. Crosses the 45 to the 40. Tripped up at the 35-yard line, but they'll mark him out at the 40. Donovan Woods on the stop. The drama at the end, usually.
Yeah, exactly. Like the call by Greg Davis, a little misdirection.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if the reverse doesn't work, you slow down pursuit because they have to check you on the backside all the time. So they're steadily wearing down Oklahoma State's defense.
And that's what was concerning Coach Gundy. Out of the 25-yard line, Jamal Charles, because Texas is so deep, they can rotate 7, 8 defensive linemen. They keep coming at you. They try to keep fresh. And Coach Gundy said, yeah, it's a concern that in the 4th quarter, we could be worn down.
What was the story he told us? He said last year in the game, one of Texas' offensive linemen went out of the ball game, and a sub came in. And a few plays there, Coach Gundy said on the phones, he said, hey, I guess they got that kid back in the game. He said, no, Coach, That's the backup. He just looks just like him.
That's good.
still, you know, so what he's saying is they rotate guys in who look just like the starters and play like them too.
Well, that is a new career high rushing attempt for Jamal Charles tonight, the sophomore out of Port Arthur, Texas. He averaged 6.5 yards last week versus Texas Tech. That's a nice little 1-2 punch they got there with Selvin Young and Jamal Charles.
And because they are a 1-2 punch, they may not have a 1,000-yard runner this year for the first time in 12 seasons. Because they're splitting so much time. But they're not concerned about that. They like what the two of them bring to the table and the fact that they can always have fresh legs on the field.
If they would have got a 1,000-yard rusher, that'd have been 12 in a row for Texas, tying North Carolina. Nothing doing. Good job by that Oklahoma State defense on 3rd down and short with 29 seconds to play in the 3rd.
Don't be surprised if they don't go for it here, though, because the kicking game is not a big deal. And remember, before they've used the quarter break to talk over situations. We may let them tick it down, get to the quarter, and decide what to do. But I'm guessing that they would think about going for it here.
Now they are going to let it tick down the final 7 seconds, and Mac Brown's squad will go to the 4th and final stanza, up 30-10 on Oklahoma State. And that is the end of quarter number 3, 4th and 5. You're watching enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football, presented by Phillips, where simplicity is not letting anything get between you and your game. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Phillips with limited commercial interruptions. We're set to start the 4th quarter. Texas leading Oklahoma State 30-10, along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager. I'm Ron Thulin. Glad you're with us tonight as we head to the final stanza. Texas facing 4th down and 3. No surprise, really, that they're going for it. Shipley wide to the left. Cosby in the slot.
Remember, they faked one earlier. They got a punter roughed a couple of times tonight. But it's really field position. It's too far for a field goal, too short for a punt.
McCoy dumps it off. Cosby, 1st down. Still on his feet. Inside the 10. Mark him out at the 5.
Watch this route by Quan Cosby, because again, this is what I call a people play. Put a guy out there that you want to get the ball to and put him in a spot he doesn't normally play. Quan Cosby came from the backfield, lined up as a running back instead of as a receiver, put him in the flat against a linebacker. An easy victory for the Texas offense in that set.
4 catches, 101 yards now for Quan Cosby tonight.
Is that Henry Melton in the game here at the eye?
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen it.
His opportunity to run the heavy set.
And they're going to run Henry Melton, the big guy, 270-pound sophomore out of Grapevine, Texas. Congratulations to Quan Cosby, first time over 100 yards receiving in his Texas career tonight.
He's caught a pass in 15 straight games. To a mature 23-year-old. You mentioned earlier in the game he played pro baseball, came back to school, and he's enjoying his time on campus. Here's Henry Melton's opportunity to show that he can be a big running back in the short zones. Look at that yardage for tonight.
Only 3 carries the last 5 games. Tried again. Puts his head down. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. Still fighting. No call by the official. Still waiting for a call.
I don't think they're going to get a touchdown here.
No, the referee's got one hand up. One official's got 2 hands up.
If I'm Texas, this is 4-down territory. And I tell those guys up front, chop a hole. I'm going to come running behind you 2 more times. Henry Melton is a guy that they want to be a big running back here inside the 5-yard line. He hasn't run as hard as they've wanted him to in recent games. He has to prove something to his coaching staff tonight.
3rd down and goal from the 1. Melton again, hit right at the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he got in again. No, the ball's loose. Oklahoma State says they have it, waiting for the official signal. Good job, though, by that Cowboy defense. And they do have the football. Second fumble loss tonight for this Texas team right when they were about to put this game away.
And that does not help Henry Melton's cause at all. As you mentioned, Ron, his usage has diminished in recent games. Selvin Young had replaced him as the goal line runner. They were giving Henry Melton an opportunity here to regain some stature. He did not take advantage of it. The ball definitely came out. Oklahoma State with a big stand.
Odiari had the hit, and it was Patrick Levine with a fumble recovery to go with his 10 tackles tonight. And the Cowboys have it. And they're just going to try to give themselves a little bit of room. James Crossland, or Julius Crossland, I should say, the junior out of Amarillo, Texas, Palo Duro High School. Only his 24th carry of the night, or of the year, and he gets up to about the 3-yard line.
And really, he could give Henry Melton a little bit of a lesson on short yardage running.
Yeah.
You see the surge that Julius Crossland got running the football, punching it forward. Henry Melton never got his pads down strong enough to give him that kind of punch down on the goal line when he was carrying it.
Reed trying to pass the signals along. They'll try it again with Crossland. Giving him a little bit of breathing room. Gets up to about the 8-yard line. Make it to 10. They're going to spot it. Killebrew on the stop. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. 12 minutes to play in the ball game. And Coach Gundy still knows that his team, when they do strike, they can strike quickly.
2 good, strong runs off of the goal line. So we look at the points. Yardage for Oklahoma State. And I think here it goes into Bobby Reed's hands, approaching the perimeter.
Ball's loose. Reed picks it up, throws it into the flat, caught by Woods. 1st down, Oklahoma State. What a job, though, by Bobby Reed to pick up the loose ball, still get the grip on it, and fire it out to Woods. Pickup of 7 on the play.
This is part of the maturation of Bobby Reed because, look, no panic. Picks it up, gets a good grip, and fires a strike. Earlier in his career, many young quarterbacks' career, a bad snap throws off the timing. They get flustered. Not on that play by Bobby Reed.
Tostin goes in motion. Nobody in the backfield with Reed. Looks left, throws right, pass tip, intercepted. Aaron Ross.
If there's a corner playing better in the country than Aaron Ross, I want to see him.
I agree.
He read this play so well because he came inside on the screen with Adarius Bowman, and he got some help from Frank Ocam, number 97, also reading the play. And then he tips the ball in the air, bats it to himself, and Texas 1st and goal on the 9-yard line.
5 interceptions on the year for Ross. He is definitely the Thorpe Award frontrunner by far.
The only thing is, you know, people are going to look at the overall pass defense numbers. Throw it out. He's played above any number that you can quote this year.
Charles, right side, bounces to the outside, touchdown, Texas.
Great surge by the offensive line. See play 63 sealing. They're stuttered 64, send line 62. All of them out in front. Can't wrap up on Jamal Charles. And he trots into the end zone.
First touchdown since the Iowa State game. 9 yards it covered. That's his 4th of the year rushing. And the extra point is no good. Hits the crossbar. His 1st miss of the year. Let's check in with.
Good thing he does is that he recognizes the talent that she has, and he trains with her.
Yeah.
3 times a week, does some track and field training to help himself get ready for football.
Well, we asked them who's the best athlete. Here's a
terrific couple. And Craig Sager, question for you. I also understand that Aaron Ross is a poet. really dabbles in poetry. And I understand he wrote a real ode to his girlfriend.
Number 16, Cox.
Yes, he did. And, if you give me a minute, I can probably retrieve it.
We'll let you do the kickoff, and you have some time. It's going to be Parrish Cox at the 10-yard line. Look at all the Texas jerseys around him, led by Brandon Foster. Aaron Ross has had a great game for the Texas. First, great coverage. Watch this.
Early in the ball game, locked up on Dewan Woods. And then he blocks up on Darius Bowman. He's right on it. Knocks the ball away again early in the game. And this one will hit every highlight reel in the country. Aaron Ross, a terrific night.
And he has helped this Texas defense hold Oklahoma State to 26 yards in the second half. Now Bobby Reed wants to get something going here. Being chased again, and he's going to throw this duck up in the stands. And a lucky fan gets a souvenir.
Now, will they treat it like a Cubs fan and throw it back since the opposing team threw it in the stands? You know, when an opposing player hits a home run, they throw it back. Not here. Someone's getting a football at home. I have a feeling we'll have a backyard pickup game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somewhere here in Texas.
With Oklahoma State ball, too.
Yeah.
I think somebody's stuffing it in their wife's purse right now. I don't know what you're talking about, officer. I don't have any football.
Can't check that bag, sir.
Second down and 10. Texas shows blitz. Reed pitches back to Tostin. Gets up over the 15 to the 18-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. Pick up a 5 on the play. Be third down and 5. Bobineau and Foster on the stop. Segs, glad you stopped there. Keith Tostin out of the backfield. 9:33 to play in the ball game. Here comes the blitz from right up the middle. Reed reads it well. Bowman up over the 30 to the 34-yard line.
He is strong, isn't he?
Boy, pickup of 16 on the play. He did that himself. For Bowman, that's reception number 5 tonight.
He is strong, working his way inside. Ball sharply delivered. Look at that, crisply thrown. Now watch Bowman upfield the whole way. See the vision? And look at the power. He tries to run through Bobineau. Derry trying to help out Killebrew there. Takes 3 linebackers to get him down.
I think that's the biggest gain of the second half for this Oklahoma State offense. Now Reed rolling by some time, still has some time, and he's just going to throw this one up in the stands again. I've never seen that twice.
That was well covered by Terrell Brown downfield. The route he wanted was all the way downfield against Terrell Brown. It wasn't even close to being available. And so once again, Bobby Reed shows off his arm.
And I think one of our camera guys is trying to get up in the stands to find out who got it.
Well, we saw Mike Holder, the AD here for Oklahoma State. He may talk to Bobby Reed because, you know, footballs aren't, you know, exactly
They're not cheap.
free.
You have to go back to Mr. Pickens.
Throw it out of bounds, but throw it where we can get it back.
And that brings up a second down and 10. Less than 9 play in the ball game. Reed looking for the option. This time he keeps it. They'll mark him down at the 44-yard line. It'll be very close to the first down. I think he may have gotten it.
I think he did. I think he crossed the line.
Only 78 yards rushing prior to that play for Oklahoma State. You said they needed 150 in order to be in this ball game.
Yeah, I thought 150 against this rush defense of Texas. Remember, Oklahoma State came into the game averaging 211. So I thought 150 against a team that only gives up 41 would be a terrific number, because then they would have some time of possession, and then they would have been working the ball downfield on offense. Thus far, it hasn't happened the way they've wanted it to.
28 yards rushing in the second half for the Cowboys.
Don't forget how long Texas has had the ball in the second half, too.
They've doubled up time of possession. On first down, maybe a pickup of 2, because Oklahoma State's only had the ball total for the game just a shade under 16 minutes, 33.5 minutes for Texas. Couple that with the fact you've had some very costly penalties, a couple of turnovers. That's why Oklahoma State finds themselves down by 26.
Texas doesn't mind at all if they're going to run the football here. They're not worried about stats. What they like is that the clock is hit under 8 minutes now and continues to move.
And a little miscommunication movement on the left side.
It's Corey Hilliard, number 75.
False start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Let's look at it from Coach Gundy's standpoint. You came in here with high expectations. You're coming off an emotional win. Your guys saw the evidence of hard work against Nebraska. Now you come here and you find yourself down by 26. Knowing Coach Gundy, I had the pleasure of knowing him when he played. He's going to turn this into an incredible learning experience for these young men.
He is. And remember this, they're just one game shy of being bowl eligible. And they get Baylor at home next week. The Baylor team that took a real thumping today at Texas Tech and has lost their quarterback.
5 false starts for Oklahoma State tonight. Straight drop back Reed. They're holding on to him, and he's going to go down back at the 28-yard line. Brian Robinson, his second sack of the ball game.
Gene Chizik and Dwayne Aquina challenged their defensive front four and said, we did not get enough pressure against Texas Tech last week. We need you four to get the pressure because we need the linebackers to be in coverage and help with the run game without us having to resort to blitzing the quarterback. Brian Robinson came on a 4-man rush and collected a sack.
Loss of 10, third down and 24. Under 7 minutes left in the ball game.
You throw a screen underneath here, you got to figure Tech's going to drop deep.
That's what they do. And that's not going anywhere, kids. Rashad Bobineau with a big-time hit on Keith Toston.
See why I'm not an offensive coordinator? I suggest a play, and I nearly lose a running back.
He almost lost his head. And they're going to be forced to kick it away. This has been an impressive defensive performance by this Texas team.
Aaron Ross will go back deep to field the punt. You know why he got into the poetry, don't you?
Huh.
The 2 years he had to sit out with the transcript problem coming out of high school. It cost him 2 years of time here. Not eligibility, but 2 years of time getting his career underway. And that was a way to help with the pain and the loneliness. To get rid of that during that time, and he turned to poetry.
This is a great kick. Fudge pushes Ross back to the 8-yard line. The Cowboys doing a nice job covering him up at the 21-yard line. 56 yards on the kick, 8 on the return. Here's Mark's a big game going down in College Station, not too far from here. How about that? We rose to the challenge last year. Let's fiesta this year. We talked about explosion plays. Texas has 9. Oklahoma State only 3. That's about 5 to 7 under what they want.
Texas wanted 9, right? They want 9 per ball game.
Jamal Charles skips out of bounds not before he crosses the 24-yard line where they'll mark him out of bounds, and the clock goes inside of 5.5. In case you just joined us, Texas had the lead at halftime, 20-3. Coach Gundy's team had an 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It looked like maybe the momentum might be changing. But Texas's defense has seized control of this contest.
So has the offense.
Oh, yeah.
They really started to wear down the defense of Oklahoma State. They've been valiant. Held Texas to field goals on 3 occasions. But they haven't been able to get off the field.
A little bobble on the snap. Nothing going. Let's take a look at our text question of the night we gave you earlier. What song does the Longhorn play after the third quarter? We asked to vote for A, B, or C, and the answer is this. Yeah, just keep that. Okay.
People are going to be mad at me. Way off.
A little shovel pass there up to the 25-yard line. We'll give you one.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm still not paying for your text message.
That's right.
Because Wabash Cannonball associated with Kansas State here in the Big 12. How about that one?
But Texas plays it at the start of the fourth quarter.
Well, they fooled me on that one. Whoa.
That fooled a lot of people. It looked like we had Roderick Johnson very slow to get up for Oklahoma State, and he's going to head towards the sideline. Texas, of course, next week, they take on Kansas State in Manhattan. Then they've got 13 days off before the showdown with Texas A&M. That'll be on the 24th. Traditional Thanksgiving weekend game. It's right here on this field.
A&M needs a win tonight to keep pace.
Yep.
They already have one loss in the conference to Texas Tech. So if they can win and keep pace and win out until they get to Texas, beating Texas head-to-head would give them the Big 12 South Championship.
Well, we have a moment with 4:07 to play in the ball game. I want to thank a couple of people because this is our final game of the year. We want to thank especially our friends at the Pac-10 Conference, Commissioner Tom Hansen, Dwayne Lindbergh, and our good friends at the Big 12 Conference. Of course, Kevin Weiberg, the commissioner, Tim Allen, everybody who works for both conferences. You have made the last 5 years for TBS a lot of fun, and especially I want to thank David Levy back at Turner, Jeff Benke, Lenny Daniels, Tim Kiley, everybody who's kept us on the road for 5 incredible years covering the Pac-10 and the Big 12 Conference, and to my broadcast partners, Charles and Sags, Craig Sager, and this man who's made me look good for about 12 years. He does all our research, all our spotting, all our stat sampolas. Everybody in the truck, Scooter, Bertino, thank you. Lonnie Dale, thank you so much. And Scott Cockrell, who was our original producer and our coordinating producer, now has put all this together. Gentlemen, ladies, who keep us on the road with travel, we thank you. We tip our hat to you. You've made us look good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity, Turner, to bring us all together and give us a chance to cover these great college football games, coast to coast, Pac-10, Big 12. I echo everything Ron said. Thank you, everyone.
4:07 to play in the ball game, our final game of the year here on TBS. By the way, to Joyce Atkinson's and Lou and Renee Hines, thank you. You ladies really keep Charles and I in line.
Yes, yes, you do.
And now Oklahoma State. Bobby Reed dumps this off, passes incomplete. Joel Filani had a huge game today for Texas Tech in their win over Baylor, but last week in our game, we had a play that Charles and I both thought it was a complete pass. Charles did some research and found out that, guess what? We are wrong.
Walt Anderson is the new director of officials at the Big 12, and he's a terrific guy. I have a feeling that he and I are going to have a conversation this week because they're going to have to explain this one to me. Ball's caught, 1 foot down. Here comes the other.
Then it comes out.
Then it comes out. Should be a catch,
I don't know
a fumble, and a recovery. Not an incomplete pass, in my estimation. And we're looking, those were the replay guys last week. They got it right. Walt Anderson and I had that conversation. He's a terrific guy. Picked up the phone and gave me a call. He said he's listened to the game and said, I'm going to call Charles. Here's why I was wrong. Okay? I feel like Arthur Fonzarelli. That was rude.
Yeah.
Okay? On the catch, and I'll get back to it after this play.
Bowman goes in motion with 3:52 to play. Reed looking left. That's where he lets it go to Mike Hamilton. Haven't seen a whole lot of action tonight. Gets up to about the 43-yard line.
On the catch, Joel Filani, there was contact from a defender, but he was already going to the ground. The rule reads, as Walt Anderson explained it to me, out in the field as you catch the football, if there's no real pressure on you, if no one really makes the play, you have to come down with the football and possess it all the way through. If somehow he had caught the ball, had been running, had been knocked to the ground, and the ball came out, and he recovered it, then it would have been a catch and a fumble recovery. But in this particular instance, he has to complete the catch without a bobble in order for it to count. So I was
I'm still confused.
Let me say that one more time. I was and I appreciate Walt Anderson taking the time to correct us.
Aaron Ross tries to stay on his feet. We have a penalty flag back at the 15-yard line. With 2:58 to play in the ball game. Oklahoma State still looking for that bowl spot. They'll probably fall to 5-4 on the year, 2-3 in conference play. This is their third straight game versus a nationally ranked team, and this losing streak to Texas is going to continue.
Return. Illegal block in the back by the receive team. Number 28. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And here's a message from... The stadium was full. It's starting to empty now because 2:58 to play. Oklahoma State down by 26 to the Texas Longhorns, who will continue on their win streak. It goes to 8 straight tonight. We have a new quarterback, Jevin Sneed, the true freshman out of Stephenville, Texas. Has a great arm, was a high school All-American, enrolled in the spring. Actually was in a battle with Colt McCoy in the spring. And when they came back for fall camp, Colt McCoy saw this young man in the spring and said, I got to kick it up a notch if I want this job. They were closer than most people think.
And he also forged a great connection about Colt McCoy.
Let's take a look at our Hyundai drive of the game tonight. And it was a little bit interesting. How about a little roughing the kicker penalty? That put Greg Johnson down. Texas then takes advantage of it. McCoy to Finley, 27-yard touchdown pass. 27 touchdown passes for the season. That's a freshman record. He has had an outstanding day. So is that man on the right, Quan Cosby. As Cosby has had 4 receptions over 100 yards. And the fans also just got wind of the record. Luke Tiemann in at fullback, joined by Milton. Final 148. Milton still looking for some room. Up over the 27-yard line. That'll be good to the first down. Let's update our Orbit's fast and easy keys to the game for the Texas Longhorns, what we said at the beginning of the contest.
Yeah, Longhorn up. They're going to face a good team running the ball. They give up 80 yards, which is double what they give up for the season. I think they'll take it. They haven't got time to bleed. They've had a lot of injuries. The defense really played well tonight. 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. They forgot about the pain. And if we're even, we're leaving is the motto. Yeah. They weren't behind it to half this time, up big. They've gone ahead and extended that lead.
This Obanaya now has checked into the lineup for Texas. And he's going to get the call. Penalty flag thrown. Bounces out to the right side. Puts his shoulder down at the 40-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 49-yard line, but we do have a penalty flag back at the 22.
Chris Obanaya.
Offside on the defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Watch him finish the run against Calvin Mickens, number 27. I do believe this is what the Texas coaches want to see from Henry Melton. Now, Henry Melton, you mentioned it, Ron, 270 pounds. A world of potential. Nicknamed Hemi by Vince Young because of his size and his rumbling ability. They wanted to see him think more like a rumbler and less like a dancer in the backfield.
270-pound dancer doesn't compute with me.
You know, it's amazing what we see with the feed that people have. And Henry Melton has terrific feed and great ability because he can play defensive end too. He wants to be a running back here. He's got to carry the punch to him.
Obanaya, who already set a career high in running in the longest yard, 26 on the last play, picks up more on that one. And our 1st and 10 line tonight has been brought to you by Napa. I want to take time also thank all our guys in the truck, everybody, tape guys, audio, video, our camera guys, best in the business.
It's our family.
Thank you.
That's what everyone is on this crew. They are our family. And we can do nothing. And I mean,
A little bit about your quarterback, Colt McCoy, becoming the single-season all-time touchdown passing record holder.
Well, really proud of our team, Craig. They played so well, and they played 60 minutes tonight, unlike they have in a couple of the games lately. But we've got really good players, and they're well coached. And Colt has just made an amazing turnaround since early in the year. He's tough, he's smart, and he's making the plays to help us win. And he'll be the first to say he's got a lot of good players around him.
The defense playing so well tonight, too. We talked a little bit about Aaron Ross possibly playing as well as any quarterback in the country.
I think Aaron, if there's a better Thorpe Award guy in the country, I don't know who it is, because he's played that way each week for us, and he's made huge plays. When we didn't score at the one, he came right back and had sudden change and intercept the ball and put us back in the end zone.
This is our final regular season game. In the 5 years we've been doing Pac-10 and Big 12, we've had Texas more than anybody. We've never had Texas lose on our air. We're not taking any credit, but we'd like to tell you, sure it's been a pleasure to watch your team play. Also the cooperation from your coaches and just making you feel part of one heartbeat, part of your extended family.
Well, you all have been wonderful, and we're going to miss you, and I wish you'd still do college football, because you all are great for the game, and tell the guys upstairs the same.
Oh, you got it. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Craig. 7 years since Texas beat Oklahoma State wire to wire, but that's what they did tonight. A very impressive victory for the Texas Longhorns. Thanks for watching enhanced coverage of TBS Saturday Night College Football, presented by Phillips Sense and Simplicity. For Charles Davis, Craig Sager, and our entire crew, I'm Ron Thulin saying goodnight from Austin, Texas. The final score, Texas 36, Oklahoma State 10. For the last time, after a short break, we'll join Mark Fine for the Dodge postgame show.